awarding $2.25 billion in incentives to Amazon. A community activist who played a huge role in forcing Mayor Rahm Emanuel to release the Laquan McDonald shooting video is now running for a seat on the Chicago City Council. William Calloway announcing yesterday he'll run for alderman in the city's 5th Ward against incumbent Leslie Harrison. He was one of the 2 men who filed the Freedom of Information request that led to a judge to order Emanuel to release the video. A Glenbard East High School student is accused of threatening to shoot up the school in Lombard on social media. Boy was charged with felony counts of falsely reporting a threat to a school. Prosecutors say the student made the threat in a Snapchat video of himself holding a gun. The judge ordered him to remain on home detention and released him into the custody of his parents. Troy LaRaviere dropping out of the Chicago mayoral race. City's Principals Association president announcing yesterday he was ending his campaign because he was unable to collect enough signatures to appear on the ballot. LaRaviere was the first candidate to officially declare he was running for mayor. Top Democrat in the Illinois House says he's on board with the new governor-elect's plans for taxes and marijuana. House Speaker Mike Madigan yesterday endorsing J.B. Pritzker's plans to legalize marijuana and move toward a graduated income tax. Madigan says he's already had a number of friendly meetings with the governor-elect. Bears kicker Cody Parkey's dismal performance over the Sunday is not the subject of jokes at Hallis Hall, where he is getting full support from the team, but he got the butt of jokes on late-night television. Parkey hit the upright 4 times on 2 extra points and 2 field goals in a victory over the Lions. Jimmy Fallon poked fun at the place kicker on The Tonight Show, saying it took him 4 tries to get through the locker room door. Hockey Hall of Famer and former Red Wings defenseman and, of course, Blackhawks defenseman Chris Chelios will close down his last business in Detroit. His Chelly's Chili Bar restaurant near Comerica Park in Detroit will shut down November 24 after a dozen years in business. The downtown Detroit location is the last Chelly's Chili in Michigan or in Chicago for that matter. They were opened after he was traded to the Red Wings from the Blackhawks. Chelios left Detroit and his front office job with the Wings to return here to Chicago to be a Blackhawk ambassador this summer and be closer to his family. Illinois deer hunters getting ready to hit the fields in big numbers. State's first shotgun deer season opens up this weekend. Ed Cross with the DNR says deer hunters started archery season back in October, but shotgun season is the busiest and most popular in this state. Blackhawks host the Blues tonight. Hawks are looking to end an 8-game losing streak. Bulls on the road tonight playing the Celtics. Bulls are 4-10 after a loss to the Mavericks. 5 players scored in double figures for Georgetown as they edge Illinois 88-80 at the State Farm Center. Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Michigan remain in the top 4 of this week's college football playoff rankings. The news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. See how you can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 5:07. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Stephanie, account manager, contacted her credit union to get pre-qualified for a mortgage. Bad move. The credit union's alleged mortgage expert informed Stephanie she couldn't purchase a home without a cosigner. Wrong. Stephanie's grandfather would cosign, but she wanted to do it herself. After hearing hundreds of our ads, Stephanie called for a free consultation. An experienced Team Hochberg mortgage professional answered Stephanie's questions and helped her secure a mortgage without a cosigner. Let's review. The inexperienced mortgage professional at Stephanie's credit union stated she needed a cosigner to purchase a home, and Team Hochberg secured her a mortgage without a cosigner. When securing a mortgage, you could either get terrible advice at your credit union, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
You wouldn't put a square peg in a round hole, so why would you deploy a traditional firewall in a modern decentralized network? Firewalls have new requirements for businesses leveraging SaaS-based applications and public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We're in the cloud generation now, so your firewalls have to be engineered to fit right in. Reclaim your cloud network. Try a Barracuda Cloud Generation Network or application firewall free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
5:10. Check on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
On the inbound Ryan Expressway approaching the Burn Circle downtown, overnight work is clearing. Looking at about 16 minutes from 95th to downtown. Outbound 17. Roadwork delays from 83rd to 95th. On I-57, it's stop and go Halsted to the Merge due to construction. 18 minutes from I-80 to the Rhine. Outbound 5 to 15. On Bishop Ford Freeway, it's Slow Cottage Grove to the Rhine. 17 minutes, 80-94 to the Merge. Edens looks good. Overnight work is gone in Dundee and Willow. Kennedy, just fine. No significant delays to report yet on the Eisenhower or the Stevenson. Tollways are looking fine right now. There's still some road work here and there on the Tri-State. No problems to report in Northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, plenty of sunshine today. High 36, clear and cold, 24 overnight. We'll have sunshine and some clouds tomorrow, high near 40. 42 on Friday, a chilly day Saturday, 38. Sunday, sunny and cold, a high of 36. Currently 20 degrees. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. updating one of the top stories over the weekend that continues this tragedy of the wildfires in California. Did you see this? This was sort of interesting. Kim and Kanye, a lot of celebrities' homes have been destroyed, and the fire is ravaging, regular people's neighborhoods and communities, but also Malibu, so the area where there's a lot of stars and wealthy people.
And
right?
Calabasas is right by. That's where the Kanyes live, and it's awful.
So Kim and Kanye, they hired like private firefighters, a private team of firefighters. And
that's smart.
And they're getting a lot of credit from their neighbors because these firefighters apparently did a pretty good job digging fire breaks and otherwise fighting the blaze that was creeping up into their neighborhood, and saved Kanye and Kim's home as well as the homes of their neighbors. So, I mean, just in terms of, if you have resources to be able to enlist and bring in additional outside resources in addition to the first responders that are doing yeoman's work to try and fight this blaze. Just kind of interesting.
It's good, and I don't think we should mock the rich for it. I mean, Theo Epstein lives in our neighborhood, and they have their own security, but they don't just patrol their house. They patrol our block, and they patrol around our school. And then there's, in the Gold Coast, those two neighborhoods, 2 blocks where they have their own security guard protecting their houses. And, they're not the police, but if there's something wrong, they are armed. And they have a concealed carry, and I love it.
You also have, speaking of first responders, fire and police, some 90 first responders. They live in these communities, too. Some of the communities affected where they're fighting the fires, they've lost their homes.
Yeah, and not everyone's...
So it's the Gerard Butler and Miley Cyrus, and they're getting the pub because people know their names, but just so people understand, middle-income folks, police and firefighters also suffering, not just in terms of risking their lives, but also losing their homes.
Yeah, and Thomas Hirsch, who lives in Malibu, listen to this. His parents got this beautiful piece of land in back in 1964 for $39,000. They're 97, 96, refused to move. They're fine, but their house did burn down. Here's their son, Thomas.
And we're survivors, and we'll rebuild. We'll come back and take whatever little insurance money they had, clean it off, and rebuild it and make it nicer than it was before. I told my dad this, and he says, Tom, you can't make it any nicer than it was.
Oh. But they've lived their lifetime in this house, and
you can't make it any nicer than it was, because then the property tax cap is lifted.
Oh.
And then we get hammered. Oh. We need to be on that 1% hard cap we've had for the last 30 years, Tom. Don't screw us, son. We're going to rebuild it exactly as it was.
I think Tom is looking out for his investment, too, making sure everything's okay. He's their only son, and that land's going to be his someday. He wasn't. The only thing he was able to find in was this melted silver from, from the family. That was it.
We also have some indication about maybe how the fire started. A woman Northern California said Monday the Pacific Gas and Electric Company had contacted her about sparks in power lines on her property a day before the wildfire in Paradise, California began. She said they warned they were having some problems with sparks and needed to access her property in the small town of Pulga. And on Thursday, it was the wildfire started near that town, incinerating the neighborhood of Paradise, and then, of course, spread from there. So maybe we find out that's the basis for the fire starting in the first place.
It wasn't global warming?
Right.
That's the thing.
Yeah, Governor Moonbeam, I don't know how to break it to you. But Cliff Mass does. He's a University of Washington climate scientist. He said the recent fires are predominantly in grassland and chaparral, shrubbery. Governor Brown is not correct that global warming is a significant issue. The grasses and chaparral would have been dry enough to burn no matter what, since California is typically dry after its typical long, warm, dry summer, and the offshore-directed Diablo Santa Ana winds. Diablo Wind, by the way, was the name of my high school band.
Oh, what was a cover band for?
Fine Young Cannibals. Oh. Diablo Santa Ana winds would have dried out in any case. He goes on to, this piece actually goes on to point out in Daily Caller, that the latest National Climate Assessment Special Report found there's only a low to medium confidence for a detectable human climate change contribution in the western United States. That was a report released just last year in 2017. And in point of fact, as Mass mentioned. The temperatures were colder than normal over Northeast California and Nevada, which helped produce inland pressure that produces the winds that help the fire spread over the dry brush. So that's sort of the real story as far as we know it, as opposed to, unfortunately, the political demagoguery that we must endure in these matters.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
In reference to the Nazis, Winston Churchill stated, "An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile hoping it will eat him last." That wisdom certainly proved true.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. The end is near. No, not doom and gloom. The end of the year is almost here. What does that mean, Leslie?
New Year's resolutions? The desire to make changes?
Absolutely. So right now is the perfect time to plan ahead. Why wait? Make a resolution now to meet with our team at Wealth Management Group.
Make an appointment today at investwithwmg.com. That's investwithwmg.com. And listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
You're always looking for ways to save with your business. What if you could save anywhere from $2,500 to, get this, $25,000? Yeah, that would be great, right? Well, now through November 25th, Turnkey IT will add free Office 365 migration with every new contract. That's a huge savings for your business, and you shouldn't wait another minute to contact Turnkey IT. With Turnkey IT, you can have a full-time IT department for a lot less than you think. You'll get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, cloud backup, antivirus, and for a limited time, that free Office 365 migration with every new contract. But again, the offer ends November 25th. From one person to 200 employees, leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on running your business. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
Copays, codes, coupons. Searching for savings on prescriptions is so complex, it's like you need a doctorate degree. Fortunately, CVS Pharmacy employs thousands who have one, our pharmacists. Plus, we built a proprietary search tool to help them find you savings on prescriptions. You don't need to know all of that complicated stuff. You just need to know someone who does. Your friendly doctor of pharmacy at your local CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacist for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Black Friday savings start now at Ace with our biggest holiday light sale of the season. We have everything you need to deck the halls with huge savings on holiday lights. Find great deals like buy one, get one free on 100-count LED mini light sets or 20% off all regular price Celebrations LED light sets. It's the best time to buy your holiday lights and everything you need to make your home the best-looking house on the block. Only at Ace. Offer valid through November 26th at participating stores while supplies last.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Oprah's back. Hillary's running again in 2020. Everybody is coming together again to perpetuate the story that's been going on for the better part of the last 3 decades, including Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah, Monica Lewinsky, she has a new docuseries on
Finally.
Yeah, so we can finally hear her story, but she was very teary-eyed yesterday. They released snippets of this new program. It's going to run on A&E, excuse me, and she's still banged up a little bit about that incident with Bill Clinton.
I felt terrible. I was scared, and I was mortified and afraid of what this was going to do to my family. And, you know, I still was in love with Bill at the time. So I felt really responsible.
I mean, is anybody watching this besides you?
Boring. No, it's not. That is not boring. It is very. I mean, I just had no idea that she loved Bill.
It's still raw.
So much.
It's still raw 20 plus years later.
Yeah, because once you're in love, Dan, you're in love. She said that, quote, I hope that by participating, I can help ensure that what happened to me never happens to another young person in our country again.
Well, that's easy. If we don't put sexual predators in the White House, it won't happen again.
Well, the reason why she
was crying,
on us. The reason why she was crying and there was such fear is because after she had been outed, she had to wear a wire around, and she was just worried about hurting Bill and others. Young and dumb and in love.
What did she also say about the dress? She didn't know there was a stain on the dress?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did. Fascinating. I want to relitigate this over and over again forever.
Really?
Here's
she said that if she saw Hillary Clinton again, because she hasn't seen her, that she would apologize to her for what happened. Because she was,
having an affair with her
husband.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Hillary really cares that much, other than as the political problem it's created for her over the decades per her aspirations. The thing about Monica versus somebody else in that situation, why I have more empathy for her, is not only because it wasn't just a C-suite executive at some nameless corporation and an intern. It's the president of frickin' United States and an intern, number one. And then a corollary to that is she's branded for life, and she's a punchline for life. And so it just makes it very difficult for her to move on. So in a sense, I'm ridiculing her. Come on, 20 years later, and you're still breaking up over it. But by the same token, it's difficult for her to move on because her name is synonymous with that incident, if you will, or incidents. And so, she can't kind of run away from her name. She can't close that chapter,
No, and
that's tough for her.
I think she's a beautiful young lady. She struggled with some weight issues early on, but she's really, she can't find love.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Can we
hey.
Can we cue the music?
Yeah.
On a very
Just
special day today.
Right.
Helping Monica Lewinsky find love again.
He
loved. Really, what
she
guy's
really
gonna bring...
loved him, just like Pete Davidson really loved Ariana Grande. I mean, these people know what the hell they're talking about.
Well, they're young, and she never got over it because, again, in this series you'll see, which I'll watch for you.
Yeah.
But
and the rest
it's hard
of the country.
What are you gonna, Mom? I've got a new girlfriend. Oh, what's her name? Monica Lewinsky. She's coming over for dinner tonight. I mean, it's hard for her to date people.
I get it. She's a punchline, and that's a terrible thing because she doesn't really deserve that. But that's just the notoriety she just can't escape, and so that's why I seriously do have empathy for her. But I don't think that relitigating this over and over and over again, answering the same questions, this whole dynamic between her and Hillary Clinton and doddering old fool Bill Clinton, I just think is unseemly. I don't think it's helpful, and especially to Monica. Do you? You think it's helpful? Do you think all this is helpful to her?
I think
this
it's
never-ending
cathartic
hoopla
for her to still talk about it. I think if she didn't talk about it, it'd be bad. But I also think she's probably getting some money for this, and she needs to make money.
She does. She's from a very wealthy family.
She is from. Well, are they still taking care of her?
Well,
I mean, I don't. I don't.
This is not like Monica Lewinsky was found in a Maytag box in some alley somewhere. This is she wants to turn this into something productive to help other people. Okay, great. But the problem is all of the hoopla associated with it locks her in place, the same place she was 25 years ago. I mean, not to play armchair psychologist here, but I just don't think it's helpful to her. But you want the standing, you want to do something important. Sure, the money is nice, and so you do it, but you do it to your own detriment.
This is what she said in the piece. Quote, "If I were to see Hillary Clinton in person today, I know that I would summon up whatever force I needed to again acknowledge to her sincerely how very sorry I am. I know I would do this because I've done it in other difficult situations related to the 1998 situation. I've also written letters apologizing to others, including some who also wronged me gravely."
Yeah, okay. Well, hey, Monica, let me just give you a news flash so you can just sort of...
Should we tweet this out to her, your advice?
Just sort of pull the reins on this a little bit. If you had the chance and you to meet Hillary Clinton and you did that, you know what the response would be? The feeling's not mutual, and it has nothing to do with my marriage. So, don't worry about, making Hillary Clinton whole again. It has nothing to do with that incident between you and Bill. Patty on the Northwest side.
Hi, good morning. I do find it interesting that she'd want to apologize to Hillary. Hillary just recently came out and said that Monica was an adult, and it basically blamed Monica.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know why, Patty? Because Monica's a better person than Hillary. That's why. Thanks for the call.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of people we can't get rid of, Michelle Obama and Oprah at the United Center last night.
That's right. The current First Lady and a former First Lady both making news. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Chilly out there this morning, 18 degrees, 5:30 on AM 560, The Answer. And California's National Guard troops will be in the Sierra foothills town of Paradise today, helping look for victims of California's deadliest wildfire.
And so today, an additional 6 human remains were recovered, which brings the total to 48. All 6 of those remains were located in Paradise.
In Southern California, the Woolsey fire is blamed for at least 2 deaths. An Air Force pilot whose fighter jet crashed at the base of the U.S.-Mexico border is dead. The Air Force says the T-38C Talon trainer went down last night at Laughlin Air Force Base, about 150 miles west of San Antonio. A second pilot is hospitalized. First Lady Melania Trump wants President Trump to fire a top National Security Council aide. A statement from the First Lady's office says Deputy National Security Advisor Mira Ricardel no longer deserves the honor of serving in the White House. Senator Bill Nelson says every legally cast ballot must be counted in the Florida recount.
Sadly, it's become clear that my opponent isn't interested in making sure that every lawful vote is counted.
Governor Rick Scott, who defeated Nelson in that Senate race, has maintained a lead over Nelson ever since the recount started. A family of 4 is under arrest in connection with one of the most brutal crimes ever in the state of Ohio.
4 members of the Wagner family, a husband, a wife, their 2 adult sons, are all now facing numerous charges, including 8 counts of aggravated murder each.
Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine says suspects face the death penalty for the execution-style murders of 8 members of the Roden family back in 2016. DeWine says the Wagner family spent months meticulously planning that crime. Major League Baseball will announce this year's Cy Young Award winners today. The American League finalists are Tampa Bay's Blake Snell, Corey Kluber of the Indians, and Justin Verlander of the Astros. In the NL, the finalists are the Mets' Jacob deGrom, Phillies' Aaron Nola, and Washington's Max Scherzer. Protesters want answers after a security guard was shot and killed by a Midlothian police officer this past weekend at a bar in Robbins. A group gathered outside Midlothian Police Station demanding those answers in the death of Jamel Roberson. Mayor Emanuel says no regrets over the city and state not offering more to lure Amazon to Chicago. The e-commerce giant is deciding to open its headquarters and elsewhere, New York City, Northern Virginia, and partly in Nashville. The mayor and the governor both say they offered about $2.25 billion in incentive packages to Amazon. Blackhawks and Blues tonight. Bulls take on the Celtics. The news a service of the makers of AccuCheck Guide. Are prices a mystery when you buy your diabetes test strips? Skip the guessing game. Sign up for the AccuCheck Guide Simple Pay program at simplepaysaves.com, where you'll know you're paying the same low price on quality test strips every time. Exclusions apply. Visit simplepaysaves.com. 5:34, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher explains the consequences of elections.
Millions and millions of Americans voted for President Trump because of the gamble that he would fulfill his promise and appoint conservatives to the judiciary. With the Senate firmly controlled by the Republicans, that continues. We're going to continue to see conservative upon conservative appointed to the federal judiciary, and that's going to affect our grandchildren.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, MuellerCPA.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press Ground Game, hosted by AP's Meghan Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues around the midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
On Chicago's west side, there's police activity around North Avenue and Keeler after a report of a stabbing. Joliet, Brandon Road Bridge over the Des Plaines River is still closed. This closure's been extended twice. Brandon is now scheduled to be closed through Friday, November 30th. Eden's looking good. Kennedy as well. About Eisenhower, just a little bit of congestion now through the avenues. Inbound Stevenson has about a 3 or 4 minute delay between Central and Pulaski. Inbound Ryan Tight approaching downtown. 18 minutes, 95th to the Burns Circle. Outbound 20 minutes, roadwork delays 83rd and 95th. I-57 fine. Bishop Ford 18 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Tollways are looking good. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, we'll see plenty of sunshine today, but it will be cold, especially this morning. We'll top out near 36, clear and cold, 24 overnight. We'll climb near 40 tomorrow. 18 at O'Hare, 15 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. All right, so Sisterhood of the Traveling Pantsuit came to the United Center last night in the form of the Queen of Chicago, Oprah Winfrey. She also brought Michelle Obama so they could dramatically read excerpts from Michelle Obama's book, Becoming.
Yes. Well, it was.
It's ongoing.
Oh, right. Becoming what? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick question.
Your favorite moments, Amy, you were there with your gal pals, I presume.
Oh, yeah, sure. Right after the Blaine victory for volleyball, we went over for the Raw Conversation. That's what they called it. A raw,
yeah.
You know, there's a very intimate setting of 14,000 people. Some people paid $4,800, Dan, to sit in the second row and have a very quick meet and greet with the one and only
Seated history.
Michelle Obama. Welcome, Michelle Obama.
Is that Oprah or Michael Buffer?
Stop it. That's Oprah Winfrey. All the girlfriends were there and listening to, you know, what it was like.
Tom Cruise, too?
Tom Cruise was not there.
Oh.
He stopped jumping on the couch. But, you know, one of the first questions, you know, do you miss living in the White House?
People ask, do I miss the White House? And it's like, no, I don't miss the house because we took what was important in that house with us, and it is with us. It's family, it's values, it's the friendship.
Wow.
So the house is beautiful, and it's historic, and, you know, it was an honor to live there.
Yeah.
But the people in it make it what it is.
Oh, my gosh. That is the best. Oprah. Wow. Oh, my gosh. That is so deep.
Well, Oprah had, you know.
So profound.
She was doing her homework. She had her book out with questions she was ready to ask her. But they didn't let the media stay for long because this is a 9-city tour. So they let the media, the pool camera, stay for 2 questions, and then they kicked them out. But people that were there absolutely loved it.
It's really, really cool to have a woman of color in such a position where she's able to get her words out.
Is she talking about Oprah or Michelle Obama?
Michelle Obama has just done so much to inspire young women all over the world.
She just means so much to myself, to my community, to my family.
And that's proof that a man was there, too.
Sort of.
She started out her day at the Co-op bookstore in Hyde Park because that's where she and Barack and the girls used to go.
Was Farrakhan there?
On the weekends.
Jeremiah Wright?
No.
Did they make the time?
No, they weren't there.
The first thing I think of is iconic. Like, and what I feel as if I take from it is their experience and what I could take and put it into my life.
I think she's really emphasizing it's about her book and her story and you know, inspiring young women.
Yeah, no, she is definitely emphasizing it's about her book. I can see that point in the MOPA tour. Make Michelle Obama proud again.
Oh, yeah.
MOPA.
Did you see what she wore last night? She had on a white outfit and off the shoulder there.
I didn't see it, but I'm sure it was stunning.
It was. And her nails were done. But she talked about how growing up in, you know, South Shore, going to Whitney Young High School, meeting Barack, and they talked about personal stuff, too, about her. She could not get pregnant. She had a number of miscarriages, so they used in vitro IVF to get pregnant with both of their daughters. So you think that they'd be pro-life because they wanted to have children so badly. That's what I've never understood about Democrats, is that whole aspect of wanting to have a baby, but then it's okay if you want to go kill a baby. You know? Have you ever wondered that?
Well, I wonder so many things, including.
And where were you yesterday when we went to pick you up? You were supposed to be ready at 5:30, and you were a no-show, Mr. Proft.
I was afraid that we were going to have a conversation we're having right now, where I'm forced to think about Michelle and Barack trying to get pregnant, and I didn't want to ruin my evening.
Oh.
That's the IVF. That's just science. That's just science.
Oh, that's that turkey baster noise we have.
So those are scientists working.
Oh, okay.
Art in Huntley.
Hello.
Hi, hello, Art in Huntley. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How are you?
Good.
Hey, when I turned on the news this morning when I got up at 5 o'clock, and when I seen Michelle and my dear friend Oprah on TV, I thought it was a commercial for Weight Watchers.
Oh, no, Art. Oh,
I cannot believe.
No.
And when you talk about that white outfit that she had on, her legs look like she is a football player. I swear to God.
Oh, my.
A girl like her should not wear white. And I'll tell you what, I talked to a couple of the people in the schools that had her school lunch program.
Yeah.
They don't even eat the food, the kids.
No, yeah.
They don't like it. They throw half it away. So that's our tax money down the drain with her good food. She ought to go and practice what she preaches.
Art, thanks for the call. That's not wasted, though. It's that we feed it to the rats.
Well, the thing is, and that's a good point he brings up, because that whole salad bar phase that we went through, because I remember I used to volunteer for the lunchroom. That salad bar, the Michelle Obama salad bar, became a
lunchroom lady, huh?
I was a lunchroom lady.
Did you
hot pack or cold pack?
Did you affix like a faux mole just to fill the role?
I did wear a hairnet a few times,
Yeah.
and then they realized, Amy, you're taking it a little too far. And then they got me into coaching. They got me out of the lunchroom and into the gym.
Did you
but
sing
that
the
salad
sloppy?
bar,
Did you sing the sloppy Joe song? Did you do that?
We sloppy Joe day, sloppy Joe, slop. That Michelle Obama salad bar became a coat rack, and then we stored boxes in it because kids at that age do not want to have salad. Maybe you have little Susie over there, me watching her wait or something, grab a few cucumbers, but every day after day, it was just food that we threw out.
You know what?
Well, she inserted herself, and I'm sure her heart was in the right place. She wanted all the kids to get fit. Remember, that was her thing.
You know how you can inspire kids to hit the salad bar?
How?
Put a picture of Michelle Obama in that white dress she was wearing on the box.
Here's the thing. You don't wear white after Labor Day.
Yeah, isn't that still a thing? That's a rule I've always abided.
Right, you just don't do it.
It's gauche and pimply. What was Oprah wearing?
You know what? I didn't even look at Oprah. She
wow.
had some. That's how. Michelle Obama was bedazzled up here with a white top and like an Empire waist pantsuit.
What?
Do you know what an Empire waist is?
No. You mean Empire the show Empire?
No, it's called an Empire waist, where it's higher up. It's right under the bosom area.
Oh, God. I thought it was bad when we were talking about them trying to get pregnant.
But yeah, Oprah, she had on glasses, and she was just, it was more about Michelle. Michelle was the star of the show, but everybody that said it was a very intimate setting. It was as if
the United Center is very intimate. What?
When I think intimate, I think the United Center.
Yeah, I think 20,000 people at the United Center. Okay. I mean, how ridiculous is all of this? It's just, I just live in a completely different planet, and I'm not coming back to this one that those people live in that went to the United Center and had those reactions to, including Oprah. It's not the house we miss. It's so much deeper. There's a metaphysical nature to answering this question I've asked myself of whether we miss living in the White House. Wow. You're making me dizzy. Golly, you're smart. Dan in Libertyville.
If I had the opportunity, I'd like to ask Michelle and her husband, Barack, one simple, serious question. She's from the south side of Chicago.
South side.
He worked there as a social worker. What did they do for the people of the south side of Chicago in 8 years of presidency? What program did they develop? What did they do at all for those people?
Obamacare. Thanks for the call, Dan.
She did talk about marital...
Obama phones.
Oh, yeah, I remember the Obama phone.
And...
don't make me do my Obama phone, lady.
Yeah. And it will
got
also...
my Obama phone? It's
I-
really good. I've practiced this for years.
It's not bad. Dear Melania is better, but it's not bad. Also, we're still trying to find one of those steel workers Obama helped get employment as a community organizer, aren't we? Did anybody ever find one of those guys?
I don't know.
Yeah, still looking.
They besides her past fertility problems, she also discussed her marital struggles.
Oh, really?
Well, she didn't like when people came up to Barack on the campaign trail and handed them their business card. ladies, hot, good-looking ladies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Saying, call me.
Didn't happen.
Well, yeah, because she would, you know what, to them. Well, not to them, but to her husband if he ever
Those
strayed.
weren't ladies. Mike in Plano.
Hey, good morning, guys. You just mentioned the former First Lady, Michelle. How about her First Lady, Melania? How is it that she's calling for the firing of a Deputy National Security Advisor? That's the first I've ever seen where a First Lady gets involved in the firing of someone at that position. Do you guys know anything about the backstory behind that? Is it some sort of soap opera drama or something?
It's a little soap opera.
Thanks for the call, Mike. First of all, that's not the first time a First Lady has gotten involved in personnel decisions, but
No. Well, they're apparently, according to Washington Post, they said that this woman, Mira Rakeldel, I'm the name
assassinator.
Yes, that she's a deputy advisor to John Bolton, and that she's been bullying and no one gets along with her at all, except for John Bolton. And they got in some little tiff when they went to Africa, and Melania Trump's staffers wanted to sit in a different seat, and she said no and tried to take over the plane, and then that's that.
There's seems to be like a issue, the tension between, more importantly, Chief of Staff John Kelly and Melania and her staff, and it's all about like the conference of titles, and which I guess have pay grades associated with them, and also just sort of like I said, a respect thing. In addition to that, and so there's been some tension between her and Kelly, and that's maybe spilled over into other Kelly loyalists, Bolton loyalists.
And people keep saying that Kelly's next, that John Kelly's going to be next, but
yeah, reports are that she wants, or maybe the collective just thinks it's time for a change. In addition to other changes they're making at the senior leadership level, you did have also President Trump reportedly anonymous sourcing, basically tell Kelly, hey, look. Don't get in a fight with my wife. I don't need this crap. I got other things to worry about. So just give her what she wants as long as it's reasonable.
And when Melania Trump was in Africa, she sat down with ABC News and they talked about, do you trust everybody in your husband's staff?
Has he had people that you didn't trust working for him?
Yes.
Did you let him know?
I let him know.
And what did he do?
Well, some people, they don't work there anymore.
Yeah, but Trump was asked that question subsequent to that interview. He said there probably are people, and there are people there that maybe I don't completely trust. So, it's this is politics at the highest level. It's a den of thieves. Get used to it. Greg in Schaumburg.
Hey, Dan, the next time that Amy invites you to go to see something like this, could you please go? Because you are known for creating shows, radio shows. And I think there's a TV show in there. And since Oprah's couch doesn't exist anymore, there's definitely an Amy's couch right there sitting on stage.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Greg. It's a good idea he offers, because if we would have gone there together, maybe we could be one of the Obama's Netflix shows. That was a missed opportunity.
You don't win friends with salad. 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 You don't win friends with salad.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Wow, we've been doing a lot of roofs.
And we're ready to do yours. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson from Crumweedy. Okay, say it. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Remember that when you need repair or when you need a new roof.
It's so important to choose your roofing company wisely.
Here's our pitch.
Installation. It's the ball game.
We follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact. Most roofing companies don't do that.
When we give you a quote, we give you good, better, and best options. You decide.
And we're not going anywhere.
We're a third-generation family business. 65 years of doing great roofs.
We run the company on good, conservative values.
For any roofing problem or need, call your roofing guys, Crumweedy.
Do we have any special offers? Sure. Just ask. We'll take care of you.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com.
When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in. and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gavalis, Joshi, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidisciplined practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology, such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930. That's 630-830-4930. Or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
It's Mike Gallagher, always honored when I get to visit with my dear friend Tom Sedeka, who's president and CEO of Precision Payroll of America, a 35-year-old company that still has its first employee and first client. It's pretty remarkable, Tom. You're a great patriot. You're a fantastic entrepreneur, and you got to be thrilled at the continued success of Precision Payroll. And I give all the credit to AM 560, The Answer, and the Mike Gallagher Show.
Thanks, Mike. And so do I. I have to tell you, working with you is an absolute treat and an honor. And the number of clients that we have gained over the years across the country from working with you has been a real blessing. So it is a real joy to work with somebody like Mike Gallagher and be on AM 560.
And it's a real joy for somebody like me to say for all your payroll processing or HR needs, go to precisionpayroll.com, precisionpayroll.com, or call Tom and his team, 630-242-1507, 630-242-1507, Precision Payroll of America.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me, I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, thank you so much to Holly and Hudson for posting a picture of Michelle and Oprah embracing, so I could see number one, what the Empire waist suit thing is.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
Number
you
two,
seem to be a man of fashion.
there's no question. I just didn't know it was called that, but I certainly recognize the style. Number two, it gave me this picture. Really gives me a sense of how much weight there was on stage. I mean,
Political weight or intellectual?
Intellectual weight.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's heavy with,
Oh my God, you guys, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
When women get older, this is what happens. Our metabolism slows down, and we put on a few lbs. I mean, over the past 8 years, I've gained some weight.
Oh, come on.
I have. Well, I used to look anorexic. I did. And now that I'm coaching, I want the girls to see that it's okay to be fit and trim and not bone.
It's okay to weigh more than 100 pounds when you're.
You know that after
you get out of high
after
school.
special, Annie eat something. An after school special on ABC.
Amy, eat something.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Should Trump and the White House drop the revocation of Jim Acosta's press credential in the wake of the CNN lawsuit, or should they fight it out at 6:06?
And later, Underwood still claims she's a nurse. Oh, yeah. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Protesters demanding information in the deadly police shooting of a security guard. Mayor Rahm Emanuel not sorry more wasn't offered for the Amazon HQ2. Troy LaRaviere drops out of the Chicago mayoral race. House Speaker Mike Madigan says yes, marijuana and higher taxes in Illinois. Chicago's Oriental Theater gets a new name. Blackhawks host the Blues tonight. Celtics host the Bulls. Fighting Illini lose to Georgetown in college hoops. Plenty of sunshine today, high 36. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
6 more victims in Northern California. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
All 6 of those remains were located in Paradise, and they were located within homes.
Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey. It's now 48 people killed as the search continues for even more bodies in the 7,600 homes burned down. Fire Battalion Chief Josh Bischoff says that wildfire is now about a third contained.
For the first time in a couple days, we actually had good visibility where we were able to fly fixed-wing aircraft and deliver retardant and assist the hand crews that are working in that steep, inaccessible terrain.
Now, there were also wildfires in Southern California that have burned down hundreds of homes and killed 2 people. Some evacuees allowed back home. It's another day to recount the Senate and governor votes across Florida.
Sadly, it's become clear that my opponent isn't interested in making sure that every lawful vote is counted.
Democratic Senator Bill Nelson demanding Governor Rick Scott recuse himself from the recount. Scott, who clings to a small lead, tweeted he won't let D.C. lawyers steal the election. There is a court fight today over whether to extend tomorrow's recount deadline for Palm Beach County, where there have been machine problems. Republicans still control the House, but they won't in the next Congress, and today they'll choose their next leaders. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy wants to be Minority Leader in the 116th Congress. He's facing a challenge from Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, once president of the Hardline Freedom Caucus. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, who's uncontested for Minority Whip, expects McCarthy to prevail.
I think Kevin will get the votes and he'll be the Minority Leader.
Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney running unopposed for House GOP conference chair. Newly elected Republicans will cast their first votes during closed-door meetings today, even before they're sworn into office. Dave.
Rachel, Democrats will pick their leaders later this month. This is Fox News.
Clear skies this early morning. 18 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. A pleasant good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Mayor Emanuel says no regrets over the city and state not offering more to lure Amazon to the city. The e-commerce giant deciding to open its HQ2 at several locations across the country, New York City, Northern Virginia, and Nashville, not Chicago. The mayor and the governor both announcing yesterday they offered about $2.25 billion in incentives to try and lure Amazon. A community activist who played a huge role in forcing Mayor Rahm Emanuel to release the Laquan McDonald shooting video is now running for a seat on the Chicago City Council. William Calloway announcing yesterday he will run for alderman in the city's 5th Ward against incumbent Leslie Hairston. Troy LaRaviere is dropping out of the Chicago mayoral race. The city's principal association president announcing he's ending his campaign because he is unable to collect enough signatures to appear on the ballot. The top Democrat in the Illinois House says, sure, he's on board with the state's governor-elect plans for taxes and legal marijuana. House Speaker Mike Madigan endorsed and rubber-stamped J.B. Pritzker's plans to legalize weed and move toward a graduated income tax. Protesters demanding answers after a security guard was shot and killed by a Midlothian police officer this past weekend at a bar in Robbins. The incident happened early Sunday when officers were responding to a shooting at Manny's Blue Room Bar. Midlothian Police Chief Daniel Delaney releasing a statement praising Roberson, saying he was a brave man trying to do his best to end an active shooter situation. Illinois deer hunters getting ready to hit the fields in big numbers. State's first shotgun deer season opens this weekend. Blackhawks and Blues tonight. Bulls on the road to take on the Celtics. Fighting Illini fell to Georgetown at the State Farm Center 88-80. The news is a service of the AccuCheck Guide. Our price is a mystery when you buy your diabetes test strip. Skip the guessing game and sign up for the AccuCheck Guide Simple Pay program at SimplePaySaves.com, where you know you're paying the same low price on quality test strips every time. Exclusions apply. Visit SimplePaySaves.com. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity sees a shaky foundation.
Now that there's irrefutable and incontrovertible evidence that it's the highest-ranking members of the FBI and DOJ that are involved in nefarious activities and abuse of power to prevent one person from becoming president, the house of cards is beginning to tumble.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of your #1 home mortgage company, Townstone Financial. Are you a veteran looking to buy a house or refinance? Look no further than Townstone.com. We have the answers to your VA questions and promise to get your home purchase or refinance done quickly and without headaches. Remember, VA purchases can be done with no down payment as well as low closing costs. So give us a call now at 312-896-2110 to find out why thousands of veterans have chosen Townstone since 2002. Have a family member who wants to remain in their house until their last days? Is a reverse mortgage the best product to make that happen? And what about reverse mortgage costs? Townstone has the experts to walk you through the entire reverse mortgage process to determine if it's the best product for you and your family. Remember, I guarantee nobody's going to beat Townstone's interest rates and low closing costs, and I own the company. So give us a call now at 312-896-2110 or go to Townstone.com. Nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
Going organic? Then go with the best. Eggland's Best Organic Eggs. More farm fresh taste and 100% organic quality. Superior nutrition, too. For my family, it's only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It is 6:07, and let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
I-80 westbound. Traffic is stop and go from Briggs to the Des Plaines River Bridge. Got a crash. 2 right lanes are blocked. Eastbound on the Eden Spur, traffic's heavy from the toll plaza to Waukegan Road. The Eden itself still fine. About Kennedy, tight 190 to Cumberland. Nagel to Foster. 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 21. On Eisenhower delays from Manheim to 17th and Ogden to the Burns Circle. 34 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Inbound Stevenson. bottled up Harlem to Kedzie. Looking at 48 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. Bryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 17. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 420. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. It comes from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sunny day today with a high 36, then a mainly clear night, low 24. Sun and some clouds tomorrow, high 40. Partly cloudy night, low 30. Friday, clouds and sun, high 42, then a little snow late Friday night, accumulating up to an inch with a low of 30. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently in Chicago, we have 17 degrees, 23 along the lakefront. It's 15 in Aurora. And your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Should the White House return Jim Acosta's press credential to him and end this standoff with CNN, or should they litigate it? CNN yesterday filed suit against the White House named parties: Trump, Sarah Sanders, the Secret Service officer who took Acosta's press credential, and so on. But it's about just getting the press credential back. Should they relent or fight? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Well, I think Jim Acosta should start with an apology to that White House intern who is just trying to take the mic from him when he, just so cavalierly just shunned her away, like, get out of here. He just seems so domineering and so dismissive of her and her position there that I think that he should start with that. And then we can litigate this in court.
Sarah Sanders dismissed the lawsuit filed by CNN and Ted Olson, by the way, on behalf of CNN. Sanders dismissing it as just more grandstanding from CNN, and that the White House will vigorously defend this lawsuit. What should President Trump do? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
They have to send a message here, because you can't be so defiant as a reporter. You have to listen to the president.
Your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and so on.
Well, that's true.
But
they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing that.
They weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood. Right. These were people. This was an actual, it happened a few days ago. And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's enough.
Ask one
it was even worse than that.
Enough.
It was Acosta.
5 times he told him.
Well, but it was also Acosta at the very beginning. I'm here to challenge you.
Yeah.
I'm not here to ask a question. I'm here to have a debate with you. However, President Trump called on him. You don't have to call on Jim Acosta. So it seems to me, a couple of issues here. One is the legal challenge on the merits, and CNN is actually in a pretty good position on that. And the second is, even if they're in a good position on the merits, and even if they win this lawsuit or it settles, there is political capital to be secured by President Trump in fighting CNN. And this is why you're getting some interesting reactions about this suit from the likes of Bob Woodward. Bob Woodward saying, we're taking Trump's bait. In the news media, there's been an emotional reaction to Trump. Too many people for Trump or against Trump have become emotionally unhinged about this. This is negative. Trump is sitting around saying, this is great. When we engage in Trump's strategy, we're taking his bait. The remedy isn't a lawsuit. It's more serious reporting about what he's doing, writes Woodward. The political opportunity Trump has created for himself, the same political opportunity he created himself by deciding to call on Jim Acosta in that press conference in the first place. There is no better foil for President Trump than the D.C. press corps generally and Jim Acosta and CNN specifically. So I think.
So what do you think?
I think politically, this is to the advantage of President Trump, even though legally, it's not. It's a fairly strong case CNN has, and don't believe me.
Who should we believe?
Listen to Judge Andrew Napolitano distill it for Stuart Varney yesterday.
Well, this is a sweeping complaint filed by Ted Olson, usually associated with Republican causes in Washington, D.C. It's filed in federal court in Washington, D.C. It's not looking for money damages. It's looking for the immediate return of Jim Acosta's credentials. So they're arguing that he was punished because the president doesn't like his speech. That's the First Amendment argument. That his credentials were taken away without any notice to him or hearing. That's the Fifth Amendment argument. And then they quote the regulations. I'm smiling because you and I talked about this in the past, or during the break, in which you said what I think a lot of Americans agree with you on, that there should be a certain level of decorum in the White House press corps, and the failure to comply with that decorum should be grounds for revoking the pass. The only grounds for revoking the pass are, is the person a danger to the physical security of the president or his family? And obviously, Acosta may have been an irritant to the president, but it was hardly a danger to him. So I think CNN's got a very good case. I think this will be resolved quickly. I don't expect a jury trial. I think it'll either be settled or CNN will prevail on motion.
Well, and here's Ari Fleischer now on the politics of this.
Ooh.
Former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer, of course. The press will never win a fight with Donald Trump about the press. That's especially the case with CNN, which already has so many credibility problems with Republicans and independents. It reinforces the notion that CNN takes sides. I completely agree with Ari Fleischer on this, and I think that this is a strong legal hand that CNN has and a weak political hand. And it's a weak political hand legal hand the White House has, and a strong political hand. So do you prosecute, litigate a weak legal hand because to further your strong political hand? That seems to me the question, and I don't think anybody's quite asking it that way, which is why you listen to this show. Jordan in Forest Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yes, good morning. I think that the D.C. press strategy that they should have is to basically ignore Trump and ignore comments that he makes, and just see how long it would take before Trump welcomes them back, because he needs that confrontation. He likes it, and I think you're right that he called on Acosta because he knew he was going to get something from him that he could blast. And I think in general, I think Woodward is right. The press in general should ignore him, talk about other things, and try to create their own agenda rather than just responding to Trump.
That is their own.
With every tweet.
Yeah, but their entire agenda is anti-Trump. That's the problem the press has. And
well, I know, but they have to come up with something else.
Yeah,
but I think a starting point would be just ignore him. Ignore some of this stuff.
Thanks for the call, Jordan. I don't know how you ignore the President of the United States, number one. Number two, you're asking, I mean, this is the parable of the frog and the scorpion. You're asking the scorpion not to sting when you're asking the press not to cover every utterance of Trump. They would have nothing to do.
Right.
And by the way, it's in their bosses wouldn't let that happen because it's in the financial interests of CNN and MSNBC to do precisely what they're doing, which is why they're doing it. So Trump has them in a bit of a trick bag, which is kind of fun, I'm sure, particularly for Trump. Paul in Lake Forest.
Hey, good morning. Good show.
Thank you.
3 quick comments, please, and I'll make them quick, brief.
All right.
First of all, give him his credentials back, but don't call on him. Or if you do call on him, Trump's response should be, interesting, Jim. I'll have to think about that one and get back to you. And just move on. That's number one. Number two, the guy's wife just left him, Acosta.
Well,
Let's find out
why.
Let's find out what his skeleton is. He's got a skeleton in there. Let's start to bury this guy. If TMZ can find out anything about anybody, you're telling me we can't send a private eye to find a skeleton in Jim's closet? And lastly, We are allowing ourselves to be distracted from what we should be going after. Hillary should be in jail. The Department of Justice, the FBI, that whole thing with the dossier. If we could nail her as she's nailable, it'll set the left back 50 years. They are doing anything to distract us from that goal. They're hoping to put us off another 2 years and nothing will ever happen. Hillary's a crook. Everybody around her was a crook. They didn't think they would be found out. Let's expose the soft coup and move on. We're getting distracted.
All right.
We're allowing them to distract us. Thank you.
Thanks for the call,
I
Paul.
can tell you what I've heard from a source is that Jim Acosta, they had irreconcilable differences.
Oh, yeah. Stepping out, was he?
But, he's enjoying himself.
Is he?
He loves it, and he loves raising his profile. He likes this attention.
Oh,
that
really?
He's garnering. Well, yeah.
That comes across.
Well, no, but remember he worked at WBBM here, and he was really nice, down-to-earth family man, and things have changed.
Yeah, imagine
you know what
that.
I mean? He's
Boy.
going through his adult childhood again.
He's the poster child for the celebrity-addled mind.
Well, I heard that he thinks that he's the cat's meow. And that he's plowing through ladies.
What 90-year-old were you talking about who describes anybody as thinking they're the cat's meow?
What do you?
Who talks like that?
Hip and cool.
Cat's meow.
Meow.
Okay. So that's Jim Acosta. Yeah. Celebrity.
Spit up my hairball. Excuse me.
There's a story in there about celebrity and character. But as to Hillary Clinton, no. Hillary Clinton, that investigation and any prosecution has been pushed off so long as she promises to run for president in 2020.
She's going to do it.
I know. That's good enough for me.
A lot of Democrats don't want her to do it, but okay.
Let's keep her walking out there, a free woman, so she can mount that campaign.
And back to the Michelle Oprah thing last night, they did ask her about Hillary Clinton running, and she didn't poo-poo it. She said, no, it should be whoever wants to run, they should run.
She's
there was
part
no
of the
bashing at all, and she hopes that the primary is very nice, that the Democrats are nice to each other, to set an example for the Republican Party. Oh, okay, we'll just see.
And this is the sisterhood of the traveling pantsuit, and Hillary looks quite fetching in that empire waist along with just
no,
like Michelle
Hillary
did.
doesn't wear empire waist. Only tall people. Michelle Obama, You're learning so much today. In fact, I think that you're going to wear an empire waist pantsuit tomorrow to work.
I mean, it looks like the MC Hammer pants I used to wear 25 years ago, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, a little bit, because then you have the flared
Yeah.
bell bottoms.
You can't touch this.
Do.
Jody and Gurnee.
Oh, hey, just wanted to comment about Jim Acosta. You know, the White House has to treat the press corps like the children that they are. If they're going to act like fools, just like my kids,
Spank 'em.
you have to punish bad behavior. What do you do with your pretend kids, Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
I've done a good job with the character formation, so they don't really get out of line. They're harder on themselves than I could ever be.
Oh, so they self-discipline?
Yeah, so we've got self-discipline going on. Thanks for the call, Jody. By the way, Sarah Sanders did point out, it's something worth noting. It's not particularly on point to the First and Fifth Amendment claims CNN's making, but it is interesting to note. CNN has 50 White House press passes.
How many?
50. So, the idea it's Jim Acosta and only Jim Acosta. I mean,
he wants his job back.
It's
he wants
hysterical.
he wants to hang out with his friends and
No, he wants
his
to.
job.
He doesn't have friends in the press corps. He wants to get.
Peter Alexander from NBC News stood up for him.
Well, yeah.
Trust me, those
Stood
people
up
are all
with him.
chummy with each other. Which whatever.
He wants to be on Colbert again. He wants a book deal. This is money making for him. Speaking fees. He's going to go with Tiny Dancer on a speaking tour.
Hey, bottom line, it helps with the ladies because he's the cat's meow.
Cat's meow.
Isn't that great? Oh, look at that. I did that myself, too.
Oof. The purring is unsettling. Tim on 294.
Oh, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I think regardless of who's in the office of the President of the United States, any one of the press should have a certain level of respect and show that for that office. And the disrespect that's shown on a regular basis, I agree 100% the guy should be booted. If you can't do it, then you ought to leave it. I'll hang up and listen to your show. Love you guys. You're the cat's meow.
Oh, thank you so much, Tim. Thank you very much. I am so glad I hung up on Tim before he started purring.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something?
But Tim's reaction is exactly why it makes sense for the White House to fight this, because people look at how Acosta behaves and others and say they're being disrespectful, even if you don't like the president. And so this is why it's a strong hand politically for President Trump, even if it's a weak hand legally.
And bottom line, no touchy. Can't touch the talent. Cannot touch a White House intern.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little. I think they were looking for a reason on that.
Right, but he told him 5 times. 5 times. And if you can't respect anybody, I mean, it's.
Well, that's right. And
to move on. 5, I counted.
And also, like a young lady, it comes up to you, and
it's embarrassing.
Yeah,
you don't do that.
It was a little thuggish.
He acted like the hierarchy there. He was very dismissive to her.
She should have kneed him in the nuts.
Yeah,
give me that microphone.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And they're just taking it. That would have been awesome.
It would have been awesome.
Oh.
John in Hobart, Indiana.
Hey, guys are going, well, man, I test it. But, hey, I don't like my boss, but, I can't go in his house and, throw stuff at him. And, like this guy does. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, well, that one caller that was before the female, I completely disagree with that guy saying, oh, whatever. I don't even mean to call in. I waited so long I lost track.
Well, that's all right. Well, thanks for calling in,
That's all right,
John.
Thanks
and you
for
can
the
call back anytime.
No, but that's what he's saying. Like,
right.
I can't treat my boss like that, or just
right,
treat,
of course not.
Or treat like even since Trump isn't Acosta's boss, but just in a professional setting, I couldn't treat a competitor like that. Without fear, without getting repercussions at my employer. And so they see Acosta's antics, and people are reviled by it, as they should be. And Trump loves it. Lewis in Dayton, Texas.
Good morning, Dan. How are you guys doing this morning?
Morning.
To pretty much echo what a lot of your other callers stated, it's an honor to be in the White House, regardless of what position it is. If you're there, you should treat it with respect and, dignity. And not only was Jim Acosta unprofessional to the president, he was unprofessional to a lot of his colleagues as well there, the other news media that wanted to get their questions in. And I think that's the other issue is, not only, if I was the other outlets, I'd be a little upset at him because, as you stated, he was trying to constantly get his comments in. And this isn't the first time that he's done things like that. I mean, I'm sure all these outlets want to ask their own personal questions, their own looks and views, and get their own feedback from their own reporters and get their TV time. But yet this man and CNN, they're trying to hog up all the time, every time that it's a national comment TV stage. If I was the president to upset the rest of his colleagues, what I would do is I'd sit there and I would have a debate with him the whole time. I'd let him ask all the questions he wants, because eventually other networks, his other colleagues, are going to get upset with him, where they're going to want him out eventually.
Exactly,
That's
Lewis.
it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the call. That's exactly where I would go. A bit of jiu-jitsu. Oh, hey, Jim, I'll tell you what. Come back. And since you're the spokesman for the D.C. press corps, I'm only going to call on you. Since all the others just repeat the questions you want to ask, we'll have an hour press conference. And Jim Acosta is the designated interrogator for the D.C. press corps. There is no legal requirement for the president to call on any particular person or any particular outlet. So everybody's invited to the big party, and your spokesman, Jim Acosta, will ask all the questions, and we'll just have an hour-long discussion across the range of topics, me and your spokesman. Same thing with Sarah Sanders. She's the president's spokesman. I'm just going to call on the D.C. press corps spokesman, Jim Acosta. That'll be the entire conversation. That's a way, I think, to better isolate Jim Acosta and do a little divide and conquer among the group thinkers in the D.C. press corps. That would be fun.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public? Afraid to be seen in a restaurant? Afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
Well, I know I rave about MyPillow, but really, I love the fact that they're washable and dryable. You don't have to take them to the cleaners because Bunky got sick on some rat poisoning and was sick all night long. And thank goodness the MyPillow, I could just throw it in the washing machine and it's good to go the next night. And right now, there's a great deal on the MyPillow mattress topper. That's fantastic. It's an exclusive 3-layer design. Includes the MyPillow foam for support, the transitional foam to help relieve pressure points, and an ultra-soft, patented temperature-regulating cover that, yes, it's also washable and dryable. It has Mike Lindell's 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. You'll get the total body support you need and sleep better. And right now, you'll save 30% when you use the promo code Amy. Plus, you'll receive 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free for getting your MyPillow mattress topper. Or you can still receive the buy one, get one free offer just in time for the holidays. Give one for yourself and give the gift of a great night's sleep to a friend. It's real simple. Go to MyPillow.com, Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, and tell them Amy sent you.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank. I'd like to thank our customers for selecting Signature as their trusted banking partner to help build their businesses. We started Signature in 2006, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many hardworking Chicagoans. From third-generation family-owned businesses on the west side of Chicago to tech innovators at 1871. Signature Bank is proud to work across many different industries in the city and beyond. As the fastest-growing, independently owned business bank in Chicago, Signature is always welcoming new customers. I'd love to meet you and learn about your business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that? Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The firing of Facebook's Palmer Luckey at 6:36.
He ain't so lucky after all, is he? But first, and also, Amazon apologizes to Chicago. We'll explain why, and you have got to hear it. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
18 degrees at 6:31. Authorities are afraid the death toll in Northern California's Camp Fire will go a lot higher. The discovery of 6 more bodies yesterday pushed that death toll to 48, but more than 100 others are missing. Butte County Sheriff Corey Oney is saying many of his staff have been impacted by the fire, and he's ordered many of them to take a day off.
I have many staff members who are personally affected by this fire, having been evacuated from their homes and in some cases having lost their homes. I think we're around 30 staff members.
2 have died in the Woolsey fire now, burning along the Los Angeles-Ventura County line. Florida's Attorney General says lawsuits seeking to extend the deadline for recounts in 3 statewide races will produce chaos.
They're basically trying to, as you know, throw out deadlines, so it would be the wild, wild west. I mean, without deadlines, how do you manage elections?
Appearing on Fox, Pam Bondi saying at least 7 civil lawsuits have been filed by the DNC and the ACLU. The U.S. may finally have an ambassador to Saudi Arabia. The president announcing the nomination of retired Army General John Abizad to fill the vacancy that's been open since the early days of the administration. Abizad speaks fluent Arabic and was in charge of U.S. Central Command from 2003 to 2007. An Air Force pilot whose fighter jet crashed near a base in Texas is dead. Air Force says the T-38C Talon went down last night at Laughlin Air Base, about 150 miles west of San Antonio. The U.S. Supreme Court says it will hear a case that may change how congressional districts are drawn up around the country. Court is looking at a Virginia case where civil rights backers claim that state packed African American voters into 11 House delegate districts to reduce their influence on the rest of the state. New Yorkers apparently do not want Amazon to set up shop as their headquarters there. They're worried about the 4 million square foot second headquarters in Long Island City, that it will drive up housing prices, displace low-income people, and overwhelm mass transit. Thousands of New Yorkers are set to protest today. State police are revealing new details about a deadly police shooting of a security guard over the weekend at a bar in Robbins. Authorities say Midlothian police officers encountered Jamel Roberson early Sunday in a parking lot at Manny's Blue Room Bar. Roberson was armed with a gun, wearing plain black clothing, no markings identifying him as a security guard. The officer gave him multiple verbal commands to drop the gun, and state police say he was ordered to get on the ground before ultimately shooting him. A Matson man accused of killing a barber in Harvey last month is now in custody. Police say Perry Gosa turned himself in this morning for the October 21st murder of Mike Carney. Gosa was the ex-boyfriend of Carney's girlfriend. Blackhawks host the Blues later on tonight, while the Bulls are on the road to take on the Celtics, and the Fighting Illini fell to Georgetown 88-80 in college hoops. The news service of Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. There's nothing like Eggland's Best eggs. More of the farm-fresh taste you love. Superior nutrition, too. For your family, only the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. 6:35, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've been on it now. It's got to be close to 5 or 6 years. But I've never run out, and I like to have a little cushion if I want to double up. If I feel a little, like I need a little extra, I don't have to worry about like being stingy with it. I'm 54 years old, but anyway, 9 years ago, almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years this December 6th. And I went to work one day. I went and I thought I had a sinus headache for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke right at work. And I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days in the brain trauma unit of the hospital in New Jersey. And the only reason they even tried to save my life was because I was 44 at the time. And 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2, write the alphabet. My body's been through a lot. And, I used to be in bed for most of the, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home, I'd be in bed. Now I'm up by like 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping. I cook. I have energy all day. I'm talking to you now. I sound pretty wired. And I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and, I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better. And when I came home, I was on 17 medications, not 17 pills, 17 medications, maybe 40 pills a day. Now I'm down to 3 very, very, very low dose pills, and I'm hoping to get off of everything here. where I was to what I am now, it's unbelievable. I mean, I'm so blessed. So you're speaking to literally a miracle.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megan Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues around the midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:38. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Westbound I-80 traffic is jammed. Calgary to the Des Plaines River Bridge. Got a crash blocking 2 right lanes. Northbound Tri-State traffic is heavy 95th to the 83rd Street Toll and from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Inbound Edens, 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. How about 21? Kennedy, now 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 17 from Montrose. 14 in the Express. Outbound 30 minutes to O'Hare. Mount Eisenhower, 48 minutes. 390 to downtown. Outbound 33. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan is 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 426, Lakeshore Drive still okay. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. We'll have plenty of sunshine today. We'll top out at 36. Clear, cold, 24. Overnight, 17 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the lawyers of Kelleher and Buckley, providing legal solutions to your estate planning and asset protection. KelleherandBuckley.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This interesting report by the Wall Street Journal about Facebook executive Palmer Luckey. He was the co-founder of Oculus VR, the virtual reality platform. That he may have been ousted by Facebook for his political activities. He was a focus of much opprobrium in Silicon Valley after it was reported that he donated $10,000 to an anti-Hillary Clinton group during the 2016 race. At least that, which, among other things, underwrote at least one billboard paid by a group called Nimble America that featured a picture of Mrs. Clinton and the phrase "too big to jail."
And you get in trouble for that?
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg denied Luckey's departure last year had anything to do with politics during testimony on Capitol Hill this past spring, but the donation did spark anger with the company, and many Facebook employees used internal message boards to express their unhappiness of his support for a group that, in their mind, was, misogynist and white supremacist and all those things that every leftist says in lieu of an actual argument. Luckey ultimately posted an apology drafted by Zuckerberg himself.
Okay, and he wasn't fired because of this?
Right.
All right. Yeah. All right.
In which he said he would vote for Libertarian candidate Gary Johnson, not Trump.
Oh, my gosh.
So this is very interesting because he, a day after this Wall Street Journal report, he was a panelist on a Wall Street Journal seminar talking about the political culture in Silicon Valley and the things he had to say. Now thinking about Palmer Luckey, not an isolated case. James Damore at Google, right. Brian Amerige also at Facebook. He left, fired when he attacked Facebook's political monoculture. It was tabbed as Facebook's aspiring James Damore.
I've really gotten into the show Silicon Valley because of you.
Oh, it's hysterical.
And I've been there, and I've been to one of these companies that, the set where they have toys and they have games at work and virtual reality rooms and then ping pong and bowling. I mean, it is insane. They feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's always snacks for snack time.
If you don't watch Silicon Valley and HBO and you want a
real life, you want to see what life is like. It's so true.
You think it's a parody, and you talk to people in Silicon Valley, and it's almost a documentary. It's how closely Mike Judge nails the culture in Silicon Valley, the self-regarding, I am my own God, leftist culture. So it's interesting to hear what Palmer Luckey has to say on a number of topics. Some that are insular, the political culture in Silicon Valley among these very wealthy tech geeks, but also as it pertains to actual national security issues, America's preeminence in the world. These are real things, actually. And, Andrew Breitbart used to say the media is more important than all three branches of government combined. I would say social media is more important than the traditional media plus all three branches of government combined. So we worry about, as we've talked about before with respect to Facebook and Google, Twitter, the FANG stocks, that we're worried about, foreign agents in the Chinese government or the Russian government meddling in our elections or otherwise trying to undermine our republic. What about the threat posed by those who have concentrated power and influence that dwarfs foreign adversaries? Palmer Luckey, there's more conservatives in Silicon Valley than you think, but
I think one of the things that people don't realize is that what you see on social media is not necessarily representative of what people actually think out in the real world. And I know that's almost like a trite, cliche thing to say, but it's very true where, like, if you look at Silicon Valley conservatism in general, I think there's actually a lot more than you would expect looking at the media or looking at political donations. There's just a lot of people who know that if they talk about these things, that it could cause problems for them.
Right. And now this specific example of what I'm talking about when it comes to how the cultural Marxism negatively impacts our country. Google will do work for foreign governments, the Chinese government, stooge companies of the Chinese government, and they'll pretend like they don't know it's the Chinese government. That's the same fracking thing. But won't, under pressure, do AI contract work for the U.S. government, for example. Palmer Luckey describes the example in some detail.
Silicon Valley's participation in, you mentioned defense. To take a concrete example, recently Google pulled out of, or I guess shut down, their Project Maven AI for defense. What was your feeling on that? It felt like an internal revolt. Do you feel like it was representative of the larger consensus at a place like that? I really didn't work at Google, but
this is a great example of what I'm talking about, where you would imagine that there was a big internal revolt. Like, there was one media outlet that said mass resignations at Google. It was 12 people. There's about 3,000 people who signed a letter saying that Google should pull out of this project, and that makes up, something like 6% of their workforce. And you have to remember that, yes, that's the vocal minority that's dominating the web traffic and dominating the airwaves. You're like, oh, look, Google employees don't want to work on tech for the military. In reality, it's a tiny, tiny fraction, even of Google, that just gets all of the mind share, that perpetuates this idea that nobody who works in tech could ever want to work in defense. And that was an unfortunate thing, because the kind of public narrative that was spun was Google did this bad warmongering thing for money, and then we caught them and forced them to do the right thing. And in reality, it had executive buy-in to a very high level. People at Google believed it was a good thing for the country, that it was going to reduce collateral damage, that it was going to reduce civilian casualties. And then they pulled out of doing the right thing because of protests from the public and a very small vocal minority of their employees. They allowed themselves to be controlled by a pretty radical fringe inside of their own company.
Rage makes you stupid, and cowering to the rageaholics who populate these cultural Marxist mobs, which are small fringe elements, even in corporate America. I say even in corporate America, that sounds like a cliche, but it's not. And that's what happens. Did you hear what he said? They pulled out of something they knew was the right thing to do, reduce civilian casualties, collateral damage in war. Something good for us and good for humanity. Pulled out because the rage mob, the shame mob said, no, anything associated with the U.S. military is warmongering. And all these billionaires cave. So again, you want to talk about foreign adversaries and spy games of yesteryear? Or do you want to talk about instances like this? Paul Malucki went on to make another important point about those who populated the 3,000 signatories saying don't do this contract with the Department of Defense. Another important point. Think about multinational companies like these social media giants. They employ a lot of foreign nationals, don't they? Paul Malucki connects the dots.
And it's worth noting, I don't mean this in any kind of xenophobic way, but it's worth noting that a very large percentage of Google employees are not even U.S. citizens. A large number of those people that signed that petition saying don't work with the U.S. military, they weren't U.S. citizens. And so if you have, let's say, a Chinese national living in Europe working for Google, it's not really surprising that they wouldn't have a strong positive impression of giving the U.S. military better tools.
Makes sense. It has nothing to do with nationality or xenophobia, as he said. I mean, you have to qualify these things. You have to qualify speaking logic and truth in these forums and in this culture these days. But of course, why would a foreign national who happens to be a Google engineer in Asia or Europe or wherever else, why would they want their company to be advancing the interests of an adversarial government, at least in their minds? They're not Americans. And so that's who is pushing the senior leadership, Sergey and Larry and Sundar, around. Remarkable, isn't it? Mm-hmm. How powerful a small, hysterical, fringe mob can be. And what's the reaction? Capitulation. Almost across the board. Okay. Capitulation has consequences, too. Peace in our time. Bruce in Bloomingdale.
Hey, guys, good morning. I'm wondering, when do these folks at Google and Facebook have any time to actually work? They're always worried about where other people are spending their money and how they're spending their free time on outside political activities. I think they would want to put more time and effort into protecting their BGP routing protocols so all their traffic doesn't go to Russia and China like happened yesterday.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the call, Bruce.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Walmart expects big e-commerce growth. Amazon expanding in Tennessee as well as in New York and Virginia. Those stories next.
Financial markets cannot handle rising rates. As interest rates rise, stocks and bonds will come down. My name's Adam Barata. I'm the co-owner of Advantage Gold and the author of the now national best-selling book, Gold is a Better Way. Everything that's happening right now, I predicted. In a webinar seen by thousands, it's why the book became a national bestseller. Watch it and learn why stocks are set to collapse and why gold is going to soar to over $10,000 per ounce. If you have an IRA or 401k with over $100,000, I want to send it to you right now for free. That's right, directly to your phone, no questions asked, just massive value. Text the word winter to 49776. That's the word winter to 49776. I'll immediately send you the presentation right now. Text winter to 49776. If you're an investor, you got to see this. Once you do, you'll want to change. And from there, we at Advantage Gold hope to earn your business. Text winter to 49776.
Amazon expanding into Long Island and Northern Virginia, but Tennessee is also benefiting. Governor Bill Haslam says the online retailer's plans for a hub in his state represents the single biggest commitment to jobs in Tennessee's history. Amazon is expected to create 5,000 jobs in Tennessee, spending $230 million. Thursday morning, Walmart reports its fiscal third quarter earnings, but even before that update, the giant retailer sending signs Transit expects massive growth in e-commerce in the next few years, expanding its global footprint. Economic reports ahead include the Labor Department's release of October's Consumer Price Index and Macy's quarterly results. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hello, I'm Lou Bridges. The 2008 housing crisis hit everybody hard, and it's not over yet. In the wake of the crisis, the government passed legislation and created a special federal agency just for the purpose of protecting consumers. If you're facing foreclosure or have been subject to unfair, harassing creditor behavior, there are laws to protect you. But you have to know those laws in order to use them and get the relief you need. Whether you're facing foreclosure, about to lose your home to a big bank or mortgage loan servicer, or if you were injured in an accident and need help in getting what you deserve from an insurance company, call our offices today. The big banks, mortgage loan servicers, and insurance companies have teams of aggressive lawyers fighting for them. And if you need help with dealing with a big bank, mortgage loan servicer, or an insurance company, you need someone fighting for you. I've been representing people in Illinois for almost 40 years in these fields. Call my office today for a free consultation. Call us at 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231. 224-513-1231. Lou Bridges and Associates, lawyers for people.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
Your Balance of Nature did boost up my immune system, so I love it. I normally get sick in the winter maybe 2 or 3 times. I only got sick once this year. And I normally get fever blisters, and I haven't gotten them. And my fiance noticed a boost in energy in me.
My head is a little clearer. I don't feel quite so foggy. I was able to spend a week or so working on my winter supply of firewood and get it in the garage, so it gave me the endurance to do the job.
The only thing I could say is I don't get sick. You know, I used to get a lot of colds.
Taking all those various supplements from a cost point of view was more expensive than your product. And I'm getting proven results with yours.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Copays, codes, coupons. Searching for savings on prescriptions is so complex, it's like you need a doctorate degree. Fortunately, CVS Pharmacy employs thousands who have one, our pharmacists. Plus, we built a proprietary search tool to help them find you savings on prescriptions. You don't need to know all of that complicated stuff. You just need to know someone who does. Your friendly doctor of pharmacy at your local CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacist for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Black Friday savings start now at Ace with our biggest holiday light sale of the season. We have everything you need to deck the halls with huge savings on holiday lights. Find great deals like buy one, get one free on 100-count LED mini light sets, or 20% off all regular price Celebrations LED light sets. It's the best time to buy your holiday lights and everything you need to make your home the best-looking house on the block. Only at Ace. Offer valid through November 26th at participating stores while supplies last.
AM 560, The Answer.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, very
also,
good.
too, they did that one episode where they brought the dogs in for Dog Day.
Yeah.
And the company that I visited, I don't want to say the name, they had doggy sign up. They had a limit of 100 dogs. So the night before you call in, reserve your spot. But it was like an interactive pet show. People brought their goldfish. People brought hamsters. I saw a gerbil,
Are you
and
sure?
a goldfish.
Are you sure that wasn't San Fernando Valley and not Silicon Valley? Like you were at a different kind of company?
No, I was at a...
Okay. Here's why you should always practice your get out of jury duty excuse.
Oh, I've got one down. I start crying.
Well, that's what juror number 1 tried.
And?
After she was assigned to the El Chapo
See, no.
trial.
There's
in
no...
New
I would throw
York.
myself on the floor. I'd fake an illness. I would do something because you do not want to be part of that jury. Are you kidding me? They'll kill you.
She cried when she was selected. The
Good.
judge would not let her off, but the judge received a handwritten letter from her doctor explaining she could not stay on the trial because she was going to suffer a nervous breakdown.
Yeah,
and
she has
so,
a heart condition, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So she's been dismissed. Yeah. This is where you say, hey, look, Your Honor, it's no problem. I'm happy to serve on this jury, and I just want everybody to know I think El Chapo is not guilty. So go ahead, do your little trial.
And let him hug his wife, please.
I'm voting to acquit. El Chapo, did you hear me? I'm voting to acquit.
I'm over here.
You know how you get out of jury duty? Tell the judge the truth. Tell him you'll make a really good juror because you can spot guilty people just like that.
Exactly.
Tell him it all depends on how far apart their eyes are.
George Carlin had one approach, so this is the Carlin corollary for drug kingpins.
Oh, my gosh. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll turn our sights locally. A veto session is coming up in Illinois. So in while you're here, before you move, you might want to get some insights on it. We will get that from Mindy Ruckman at Illinois Policy Institute at 7 to 7.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Protesters demand more information in a shooting of a security guard.
The defense secretary is going to the border. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Jim Mattis just took off. He's headed there to get a first-hand look at what U.S. troops are doing, deployed as that caravan of Central American migrants keeps making its way to the border. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Defense Secretary Mattis announced the trip yesterday to reporters at the Pentagon, but he gave no estimate of how much the mission will cost.
We'll update you on costs as they become known. Obviously, the units executing the border mission have got to report them in up here, but we are capturing the cost.
Nearly 6,000 active duty troops are taking part in the border mission. Of those, about 1,000 are on or near the border in South Texas. The troops acting in a support role only. Dave.
Rachel, it's up to 48 people dead in that Northern California wildfire. Now a third contained. It's burned down 7,600 homes. Crews keep looking for more victims, but Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey says it's difficult.
They report them as missing and unaccounted for, but they don't, in fact, know that they're missing or that someone is looking for them.
Fires to the south killed 2 more and burned down hundreds more homes, but thousands of evacuees have returned home. It's another day to go over ballots again across Florida. Among the legal fights there, an attempt to extend the recount deadline beyond tomorrow. Rick Scott clings to a slight lead over Democratic Senator Bill Nelson and claims he won.
Senator Nelson and Governor Scott are both going to allegedly appear for the Senate class photo. Governor Scott is in D.C. for orientation, so if they both show up for the same class photo for the new Senate class, it's going to be a very interesting time.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. Also today in the House, Republicans will pick their leaders for the next Congress. Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy still wants to be in charge when the GOP's in the minority, but Jim Jordan's challenging him.
Why did we lose in the first place? I mean, 2 years ago, the American people elected President Trump to come to this town and shake it up, and he has done just that. But I don't think they've seen the same intensity from House Republicans.
This is Fox News.
Sunrise in Chicago, 17 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. State Comptroller Susana Mendoza this morning is set to leave that job and run for mayor of Chicago, officially announcing her bid later on this morning. Her announcement comes after she was reelected as comptroller last week. Many expected she would run after a video of her leaked to the media earlier this month declaring her bid. Other stories we're following on WIND Chicago. Authorities are investigating a deadly stabbing on Chicago's west side. Police say a woman was found stabbed last night in the 3100 block of West Taylor. She was pronounced dead at the scene. State police reveal new details about the deadly police shooting of a security guard over the weekend at a bar in Robbins. Authorities say Midlothian police encountered Jamel Roberson early Sunday in the west parking lot at Manny's Blue Room Bar. Roberson was armed with a gun and wearing plain black clothing with no markings identifying him as a security guard. The officer gave him multiple verbal warnings to drop the gun and, according to the state police investigation, asked him to get on the ground before officers ultimately shot him. A Matson man accused of killing a barber in Harvey last month now in custody. Police say Perry Gosa turned himself in this morning for the October 21st murder of Mike Carney. The victim was in his girlfriend's car with his 5-year-old daughter when he was shot. Gosa was the ex-boyfriend of Carney's girlfriend. This morning, a Glenbard East student is accused of threatening to shoot up the school in Lombard on social media. Boy was charged with felony counts of falsely reporting a threat to a school. Prosecutors say the student made the threat in a Snapchat video. Judge ordered him to remain on home detention and released him into the custody of his parents. Blackhawks host the Blues tonight. Bulls on the road to tangle with the Celtics. Last night, Fighting Illini fell to Georgetown 88-80 at the State Farm Center. The News is a service of the AccuCheck Guide. Are prices a mystery when you buy your diabetes test strips? Skip the guessing game and sign up for the AccuCheck Guide Simple Pay program at SimplePaySaves.com, where you'll know you're paying the same low price on quality test strips every time. Exclusions apply. Visit SimplePaySaves.com. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally,
all money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can
call Crumweedy.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
There's nothing like Eggland's Best Eggs. More of the farm fresh taste I love. Superior nutrition, too. For my family, I buy only the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
7:07. check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Eden's delays start at Peterson. It's 26 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 24. Inbound Kennedy, 45 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 20 from Montrose, 19 in the Express. Outbound 38 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. 36 from Manheim. Outbound 35 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 3 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38 minutes. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 428. Northbound Tri-States, though 95th to the 83rd Street toll. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Westbound I-80 at Stop and Go Francis to Cherry Hill after an earlier crash. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Full day of sunshine today, high 36. Mainly clear and cold tonight, low 24. Tomorrow, sunshine and some clouds with a high 40. Then a partly cloudy night, low 30. Clouds and sun Friday, high 42. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Sunrise in 17 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Veto session in Springfield right around, it's this week. And isn't that exciting? Because that means the Illinois General Assembly is in session, and you know only good things will emanate from the Congress of such deep intellects and principled legislators, which is, why we are designated the worst governed state in the history of America, by me and by the numbers. Here's something that folks are kicking around. How about increasing the exit tax? A lot of ink and conversation devoted to Jelly Belly's desire for a graduated state income tax, and House Speaker Mike Madigan on board for that. Legalizing dope. House Speaker Mike Madigan's on board for that, so those could be green-lighted. The legalizing dope doesn't require amending the Constitution. The graduated state income tax does. But the exit tax, you thinking about leaving? Chop, chop.
Uh-oh.
Daniel K. Hertz, who's one of these leftists at the misnomered, nonpartisan Center for Tax Budget Accountability, wrote an op-ed banding about the idea, amplifying the idea that's been bandied about, really, to increase the real estate transfer tax and to essentially graduate that. Stick it to the productive. We want to get rid of productive people in this state, and we're doing a good job, but we could always do a better job getting rid of productive people. There was a ballot measure passed in Evanston. Transfer tax increase of 40% to establish a new rate of $7 for every $1,000 of value for home sales between $1.5 and $5 million. An increase of 80% to $9 for every $1,000 of value for sales over $5 million. Again, Chicago's is $525 per $500 of property value, so $1050 per $1,000, which is highest in the region. But we can always, kick people in the arse a little harder on their way out, and make sure they don't consider selling one home to buy another one in Illinois. Heaven forbid we incentivize that. For more on these topics and others, including are there any plans being considered to actually East Germany, Illinois, build a wall around us to keep us in?
Oh, that's right.
Or are they just looking for the immediate tax revenue bump from the exodus to continue propping up their Ponzi scheme for just a little bit longer? For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Mindy Ruckman. She is Government Affairs Legislative Analyst for the Illinois Policy Institute. Mindy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. So happy to be here with you.
Yes, it's a delightful time in the state of Illinois. So give us a preview of what people should be looking at in veto session this week before we even get to the new regime of Democrat supermajorities and Governor Pritzker next year.
Yeah, so actually yesterday morning, the General Assembly came back into town, into Springfield, for veto session. Veto session lasts for 2 weeks. So just as a little bit of a primer for your listeners, veto session is the General Assembly's chance to override the governor's vetoes. And, they pass all their bills during spring session, and then it goes to the governor's desk. The governor chooses to sign it, or he issues some sort of veto. And then if the General Assembly has a supermajority of votes in both chambers, then they can override any of the governor's veto. So that puts us to today and this week. Governor Rauner, over the summer, issued over 70 bills that could potentially come up back in the General Assembly this week. Some of the things that we're looking at, some interesting stuff. My favorite one
yes, please.
Is a bill that was sponsored by a lawmaker in the Chicago area. And this bill would have, it was targeted as a pension benefit scheme for Chicago aldermen. And so,
what is that?
Getting on this is that, right. So basically what this bill says is that any alderman who used to be a firefighter, they can credit their time as an alderman to the firefighter system.
Oh.
Firefighter system being more lucrative, better benefits, of course. And so any sort of politically connected person who fits this category would be able to put their time into that system. Ludicrous, of course. And this bill would only impact, maybe a small handful of people. I really can't even think of that
I'm racking
many,
my brain to think how many aldermen are also former firefighters.
There's a few.
Right. So, but nonetheless, regardless of who it hits, the fact is that this bill is designed, and the General Assembly spent taxpayer time pushing it for those who are politically connected. And quite frankly, what this does, if this were to pass and be overridden, this just crowds out the firefighter pension systems for those who are serving as firefighters and deserve those versus those who are politicians. So
I'm curious,
that's just one example of some of the things we could see.
Well, which Chicago lawmaker authored that bill?
That was by Representative Martwick.
Yeah, Robert Martwick, the property tax appeals attorney, friend to public sector unions, big and small, and Chicago Democrat crime families, big and small. Northwest side of the city loves Robert Martwick. Good deal. It's great. Here's the other thing that's an important sort of footnote with respect to veto session. You got a bunch of legislators who retired and or lost, so they're lame ducks, so they're sort of unbound from any further consequences from their constituents when they make their decisions on whether or not to override particular gubernatorial vetoes.
You're absolutely right. The best way I would say it is unelected individuals who have no consequences but have full voting authority.
Wow. So there's 70 bills. What else piqued your interest?
Well, another thing that I would say, so any of these 70 bills could come up, but another point that I think people in the, general Illinois residents probably don't know is that actually anything could come up during veto session, even if it's not a bill that was vetoed. Veto session is set aside. It's a time for vetoed bills, but they have created the rules in a way that they can just kind of do whatever they want and pass anything. So the real answer is, well, what don't we know? They could add an amendment to a bill, could do anything, and they could pass it in the blink of an eye. And that's kind of the scary thing about veto session. As a reminder, back in 2011, the infamous tax hike that passed then, that happened during a lame duck session. And it was late 1 hour on one of the last days, and it passed like that. Literally the next day people woke up and their income taxes were higher. So we could see anything, but at Illinois Policy, we've got our eyes out. We're paying attention to all of this, and we're, doing our due diligence, what we can to alert the public.
Yeah, skip over.
We should be worried about.
Skip over veto and go to the next session under Democrat supermajorities and Governor Jelly Belly, as I said, and you've got this exit tax proposal that's being suggested to increase the seizure of property before it can escape, essentially, in addition to the graduated state income tax, talk of a commuter tax, talk of a financial transactions tax, talk of taxing pension income, talks of marijuana legalization, perhaps gambling expansion, anything to further the mob economy here and to continue fleecing people. So what do you think is a front burner for the Chicago Democrat power structure come January?
There's a lot of, as you listed off, there's a lot of taxes they could come up with. I think I'm a little bit more hopeful than that right now because every chamber, every office is moving to Democrat. That means that they have full ability to enact some meaningful reforms that our state needs without any resistance.
Yeah. A meaningful reform. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say Chicago Democrats have the ability to enact? Well, sure, they have the ability. What would you handicap the likelihood of that?
I mean, we don't have, because they have these majorities, you kind of lose a what we would call a political struggle between the parties.
Yeah.
On our end, we have policies and we have some reforms that we're going to be pushing regardless. One of those reforms, for example, we're pushing a budget spending cap constitutional amendment. Simply what that would do is it would tie government spending to what taxpayers can afford, no more than that. A crazy concept, right? Very basic. But, we pushed this last year. We introduced it, and we got a lot of support from Democrats on this. So I do think there are some key things, conversations that we can have, at the same time that we're trying to fight back other tax hikes and all the bad stuff. But,
yeah, and I mean, and so much of that, too, is you've got to continue to be an incubator for policy ideas to inform, to educate, and to change those conversations that are had in Springfield. That's sort of the overriding kind of political or policy culture point, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, we're going to push for good taxpayer-friendly reform regardless of who's in office. One of my favorite things to say is we just need people, anybody, to do the right things. And whether that's Democrat or Republican, we're going to push for it regardless. So I would encourage your viewers to stay tuned and follow along, especially this week, but especially in January as we kick off the new legislative session.
All right. She is Mindy Ruckman, Government Affairs Legislative Analyst for the Illinois Policy Institute. Mindy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid announcement.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Retire with Confidence.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill Geiger, welcome. I know that your firm focuses on helping couples in their late 50s to early 60s retire with confidence. So, Bill, what is the biggest challenge that you see successful couples face when planning for retirement?
Mike, I sat down with a couple yesterday morning and I asked them that specific question. What do you feel your biggest challenge is getting ready for retirement? And in a heartbeat, the wife said to me, how am I going to pay my bills every month? My husband's going to stop working at some point. His paycheck's going to be gone. How do we pay our bills for the rest of our lives? And it's a long time. We could be in retirement 20, 25, or 30 years. And Mike, when you think about it, 20, 25 to 30 years without a paycheck is kind of like being unemployed. And folks, that's the really big deal in retirement. Where do you get the income from to supplement your Social Security? So you have the confidence that you're going to be able to pay your bills each month, knowing how you're going to keep up your lifestyle, knowing how you're going to feel comfortable and you can do fun things like go on trips and vacations and so on.
for 20 to 30 years, the rest of your life, and maybe leave a little bit for your family too. So, Bill, how do we create this income?
Mike, we find when we look at couples' portfolios, most people have way too much at risk, way too much on the growth side. You simply take some of that growth portfolio, and Mike, we do this all the time. You take part of the growth portfolio and you create an income strategy with it. And that income strategy is designed to create dependable, sustainable income that couples can count on for the rest of their life. Mike, let's do something special for the next 5 callers who call in who have at least $500,000 in their portfolio. We're going to sit down with them personally on a complimentary basis and help them put together a full-blown plan for their retirement, a plan for how they're going to create dependable, sustainable income that they can count on for the rest of their lives and how they can retire with confidence.
Bill, this is a fantastic opportunity because, folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, then having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 couples who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. Again, that's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to sit down and translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco, Inc.
A few responses, properly cynical, to our discussion of Illinois. My friends in Indiana, text from Jonathan. My friends in Indiana have plans in place to blow up the tollway bridge and dig trenches through Route 30 and other highways to prevent Illinoisans from coming over. I better get moving.
What else?
Email from Anthony. Illinois loves productive people. That's why Illinois is making a virtual wall to keep them in. Illinois will eventually need to erect a real wall. Not that it will be able to find a contractor willing to give it the net 30-year payment option. Slave labor, perhaps? Perhaps, Anthony. Fall is here, so are the weekend cleanup projects. It's also a perfect opportunity to get organized with Storlock Modular Systems, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. Storlock makes it simple and easy. It's fully assembled when it ships, so you get organized fast. Durable Storlock Modular Systems are built the old-fashioned way, made to order exactly how you want it. Order your custom system that's powder-coated in-house in any color you want, that are 100% crafted in the USA, feature dividers, liners, and layouts, all made with quality materials, including steel ball bearings and heat-treated steel rollers. Storlock is so strong, each drawer holds up to 400 pounds. Storlock fits any home or business and will last a lifetime with its 55-year top-to-bottom warranty. Order today and receive your system in about 4 weeks. Call 1-800-STORLOCK. That's 1-800-STORLOC. And check out storlock.com for upcoming events.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we've got to tackle this shooting in Midlothian. Well, I guess it was technically in Robbins. Midlothian police officer responding to a shooting inside a South Suburban bar in Robbins early Sunday morning. Manny's Blue Room, 4 a.m. 26-year-old security guard at the bar, Jamel Robinson, apparently actually resolved the situation, apprehended a man who
was in the bar who had a gun. He tackled him and was holding him down for police to arrive.
He had somebody on the ground with a knee in his back, with his gun in his back, like, don't move, said a witness named Adam Harris. Everyone was screaming out security when the officer entered. Security, he was a security guard, and the officer shot anyway. Now we're hearing other reports, and Mike Scott reporting this morning as well, that the police say the officer provided verbal commands to drop the weapon.
Yeah, according to Illinois State Police, they're now in charge of this investigation. When they arrived on the scene, they said they asked several times for the 26-year-old security guard to put the weapon down. He was wearing all black. His family had claimed that he was wearing a security guard vest, but according to Illinois State Police, he was not. So they didn't know that he was a security guard. And they asked him several times to put the weapon down, and he didn't. And they claim that that's when they fired the fatal shot.
Yeah, so this seems to be, at least from what we know right now, just a tragic turn of events, because you apparently had a good guy with a gun, and I'm talking about Jamel Robertson, this security guard.
Yeah, he was a young father, church organist, a man who aspired to one day join the police force.
You had a good guy with a gun who stopped an attempted murder and secured the suspect. And you think about, oh, well, this just shows you good guys with guns. Well, David French points out, imagine what would have happened in that bar had Robertson not been present. How many people would that gunman have killed? So the good guy with the gun did his job, and it seems, at first blush, that the police failed. Because,
Well, and the family's asking, and I agree, they're calling for the state's attorney's office to take over the investigation. Because they would feel they'd feel confident with that. I don't know. The police officer is on administrative leave. His identity has not been revealed yet, but the family has already filed a $1 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Midlothian Police Department.
NPR reported Robertson was wearing his uniform, including a hat that was labeled security. There's also a report that other officers were already outside with Robertson, handling the situation appropriately, when a cop ran from inside the bar and opened fire. So you can, I don't know. There's like this fog of war argument that perhaps would be advanced in a case of mistaken identity or mistaken identity based on not following a lawful verbal command. I don't know. The facts, at least as they have been reported, suggest that this police officer made a terrible judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible
That's what
judgment call.
I think as well.
So we'll continue to follow this story as more facts come into focus. But, after allowing this to breathe for a couple of days, there is some focus here. And it seems to me the weight of the evidence that's been presented and reported is that a good guy with a gun named Jamel Robertson was wrongly shot and killed by a police officer.
And keep in mind that this all happened at 4:02 a.m. in the morning, and that the preliminary investigation revealed that the armed suspect entered the lounge and opened fire, striking multiple people inside the establishment, and that's when officers from Robbins and Midlothian Police Department responded. So it was a chaotic situation, and there's some cell phone video of it, but it's too...
Yes, but
what's going on?
Yeah,
it
but
was after the fact.
Was it a chaotic situation when the cop who arrived on the scene and shot Robertson? Was it still chaotic then? The indication is it wasn't that chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. One of the problems.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk HQ2 and HQ 2.5 with Steve Moore, CNN chief economist, 7:37.
And an apology from Alexa to Chicagoans. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 18 degrees. It's 7:30. And State Comptroller Susana Mendoza is running for mayor of Chicago, officially announcing her bid this morning. Her announcement comes after she was reelected as comptroller last week. Many expected she would run after video of her leaked to the media earlier this month of her declaring her bid. Authorities are afraid the death toll in Northern California's Camp Fire will go a lot higher.
So today, an additional 6 human remains were recovered, which brings the total to 48. All 6 of those remains were located in Paradise.
And in Southern California, 2 have died in the Woolsey fire along the Los Angeles and Ventura County line. More than a week after midterm elections, the Senate race in Florida, along with the governor's races in Florida and Georgia, have no clear winner as of yet. In Florida's Senate race, Senator Bill Nelson trails his Republican challenger, Governor Rick Scott, while Republican governor candidate Ron DeSantis leads his Democrat rival Andrew Gillum in that state. First Lady Melania Trump wants President Trump to fire a top national security aide close to John Bolton. A statement from the First Lady's office says Deputy National Security Advisor Mira Ricardel no longer deserves the honor of serving in the White House. Ricardel and the First Lady apparently clashed during Mrs. Trump's recent trip to Africa. Authorities are investigating a deadly stabbing on Chicago's West Side. Police say a woman was found stabbed last night in the 3100 block of West Taylor. Chicago police tell us she was pronounced dead at the scene. No one is in custody. A community activist who played a big role in forcing Mayor Rahm Emanuel out of the mayor's race and forcing him to release the Laquan McDonald shooting video is now running for a seat on Chicago's City Council. William Calloway announced yesterday he'll run for alderman in the 5th Ward against incumbent Leslie Harrison. And what do you want for Christmas? Well, a Wisconsin company is giving its employees an early Christmas present this year before Thanksgiving. Guns for Christmas. Ben Schott makes glassware with bullets embedded in them and says it's giving its 16 employees revolvers as Christmas gifts. Owner Ben Wolfgram says that most of his employees are happy with their early Christmas gift. Blackhawks host the Blues tonight. Bulls on the road to take on the Celtics. College hoops last night. Georgetown over the Fighting Illini, 88-80. The news is a service of Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's ideal situation.
Remember Nancy Pelosi? Didn't she see that once where we could sit back and write poetry and compose music? This is the ideal that somehow you will be fed, clothed, and housed without actually doing anything. It's character destroying socialism.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you ever been concerned that you might have high cholesterol? Did you know that high cholesterol is a key risk factor for heart disease? We are conducting a national research study that will examine a cholesterol-lowering medicine that could become available over the counter. If you are concerned you may have high cholesterol, you may qualify for this study. Take our online assessment at www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify. Again, please visit www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's actually really been helping my system and my lupus and my gastro problems. So I'm actually very happy with the product.
Acid reflux is pretty much under control. That's why I keep taking it.
I have noticed, I'm sleeping better since I started taking the Balance of Nature and all the other things I'm doing.
I can't believe how wonderful your product is. I listened to you guys on the radio for years and years and years, and I listened to all the testimonials. I go, well, it's probably time to give it a try. And I've been just happy as could be ever since.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megan Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues around the midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Tri-State Tollway southbound traffic is slow 137 to past 176. Northbound, it's jammed. Cicero to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to Bensonville Bridge. Adams and Reagan Tollways are okay. Northbound Veterans Memorial, Loboughton to the Reagan Tollway and Butterfield to St. Charles. Eden runs 21 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 28. Kennedy, an hour and 5 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 36 minutes from Montrose, 28 at the Express. Eisenhower, an hour 390 to downtown, 42 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 28 minutes, side east to Merge, Bishop 431. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, still Irving Park to Fullerton. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, we're seeing plenty of sunshine, high near 36, clear and cold, 24. Overnight, and sunshine and clouds, and 40 tomorrow. Currently 18 degrees. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And
What?
the kids went on a little field trip to Speaker to be Pelosi's office yesterday.
Did they bring with them some snacks?
Yeah, granola. And their pea hats, of course. A little sit-in by a bunch of economically illiterate leftists. Nancy Pelosi's office demanding, I don't know what they're demanding. They don't know what they're demanding.
Well, they don't want her to be speaker, right? They want to challenge her speaker.
No, they just want her to ban the combustion engine. So if she'd do that, then we'd be fine. And guess who showed up? A special guest for our class today. It's none other than Democrat Socialist it girl Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has the same grasp of economics they do.
I just want to let you all know how proud I am of each and every single one of you for putting yourselves and your bodies and everything on the line to make sure that we save our planet, our generation, and our future. It's so incredibly important. I've shared with you all, and I've shared my story that my journey here started at Standing Rock, and it started with everyday people doing exactly what you all were doing too. It was just standing with the Lakota Sioux, standing with allies, standing with indigenous tribes, because we don't have a choice. We do not have a choice. We have to get to 100% renewable energy in 10 years. There is no other option. The IPCC let us know that.
Exactly.
Hey, renewable energy.
We are everyday people.
Thank you for putting your bodies on the line. What?
Started
you just
with
had a little protest outside of Pelosi's office.
It started
like
with
you're going to war.
Started with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and standing with Native American lesbians in Kansas. And now
bisexual senators in Arizona.
Now it's come all the way to Nancy Pelosi's office. Oh, happy day. For more on this perspective on energy policy, we're pleased to be joined by Steve Moore, CNN chief economist, Wall Street Journal columnist. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys. By the way, this is a perfect time for me to be talking with you about energy policy because as we speak, I'm actually in central Pennsylvania, right in the midst of the Marcellus Shale, which is, most of your listeners know, that's where we're producing all of this natural gas that we're now using to heat our homes and provide electric power. And this is amazing. So, they have so much natural gas here. We're the natural gas. We're like the Saudi Arabia of natural gas now. And we're only about 200 miles here in central Pennsylvania from like Boston and New England. And yet last winter when it was really cold, by the way, did I hear it's 18 degrees in Chicago today?
Yes, with the wind chill it's 9. But, yeah.
Well, last year we had an abnormally cold winter in the Northeast. And by the way, how did that happen? I thought we had global warming. But anyway, so there was a big demand for home heating oil and for electric power generation. And we don't have this is so idiotic, and it's because of these liberal activists. We don't have a pipeline that can get that natural gas, which is only a few hundred miles away from central Pennsylvania to New England, so we can use it for energy. So instead, last year, you're not going to believe this, sometimes fact is stranger than fiction. Last year, New England had to get its energy from Russia shipped in because we don't have pipelines because idiots like Alexandria won't allow us to build the pipeline.
Excuse me, Steve. Excuse me. The password is renewable energy, Steve. Solar panels and wind farms.
By the way, that's going to work really well in Pennsylvania.
Yes,
Illinois,
of
and New England,
course.
right?
Yeah, why not? If she says
what?
it's
Here's
so.
your quiz question. I always ask you guys a quiz question. So
What's the price of crude oil?
I'm going to see if you guys. Well, last year, 2017, after hundreds of billions of dollars of all these subsidies for solar panels, we're basically paying people to put solar panels on the roof. Do you know what percentage of our electric power production came from solar power last year?
1%.
You're a little bit behind the times, Dan. We're up to 1.6%.
Wow, that's a nice spike.
1.6%. Well, and then we get about 4% from wind, so that means we get 95% of our electric power from other sources like nuclear power, like coal, and like natural gas. And the left is trying to put all of those out of business. And if Cortez has her way, we're going to be riding bicycles and sitting in our houses shivering at night because we don't have enough electric power.
Well, is there any talk of building a pipeline from, central Pennsylvania to the eastern part of the country?
Well, they should, but Amy, the problem is these activists, they literally, lay their bodies in front of the train tracks and so on. They won't allow the pipelines to be built. And Trump is right about this. To get the permitting, to get these pipelines built, it can take 8 to 10 years. It's such idiocy. We are now producing. I've got a chapter in my book, Trumponomics. Thanks for mentioning, Dan. That's called Saudi America. That we now have more energy than any other country in the world. By the way, these same people like Alexandria Cortez were saying, oh, gee, we can't use our fossil fuels. These are the same people, remember, 10 and 20 and 30 years ago, were saying we're running out of oil and gas.
Yeah.
Remember? Peak oil. There's no more of it left. We have to move this. Now we have so much of it, we don't even know what to do with it all.
Now, here's a little messaging tip for you, Steve. Don't call it Saudi America right now because the left is going to say you're advocating for the murder of journalists. So you just be careful about the Saudi America
I'm just
references.
advocating for America to be number one in energy.
Yes.
And, the jobs, by the way, out here, it's amazing. I mean, this is an area that used to be very economically depressed. It was areas where there were steel mills and things like that. And the area, was really going through a depression. And now it's booming out here thanks to shale oil and gas. The same, the middle class, the Democrats keep talking about how much they care about the middle class. They want to destroy the very middle class jobs that are out there. It's interesting. Did you see the analysis in the Wall Street Journal that the districts that went heavily Democrat were very, very wealthy districts, like in states like Illinois, with highly, highly educated people. But the working class areas of the country are now predominantly going for Republicans. They've shifted. The Democrats are now the party of the elite and the super rich, and the Republicans under Trump have become the party of working class Americans.
Speaking
the deplorables. I'm a deplorable,
yes,
man.
indeed, on so many levels. Me too. Here's the thing. I want to get your reaction because there's an interesting post-mortem going on with the announcement that Amazon's HQ2 and 2.5 will be in Virginia and New York. And it's the industrial policy, corporate welfare argument, and it's an interesting coalitions of some conservatives with people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez decrying the giveaways that states are making, Virginia, New York, and that other states like Illinois wanted to make to land HQ2. So here's some of the numbers that are being bandied about, and I want you to distill them and give us your insight on it. One suggests New York taxpayers are paying $48,000 per HQ job, the 25,000 jobs that will be located in New York. But the flip side is to say the $1.5 billion in tax incentives, the $48,000 per job, that New York is providing, the expected return is in combined tax revenue is $27.5 billion. So that's a 9-to-1 rate of return. And so, does that mean that it's good to use taxpayer dollars to incentivize and provide relief for particular businesses and particular industries, or should people not be in this business?
the government should not be in this business. Look, we know how to create jobs. We know how to bring businesses to a state. I should say we. You don't understand that in Illinois because you do everything possible
We don't like
to,
jobs here.
to keep your businesses out. Yeah, by the way, just when I thought that Illinois couldn't get any bluer at any, it's like that line from Dumb and Dumber. And every time I don't think you can possibly do anything dumber, you do in Illinois, and it's a sad situation. But look, the way you create jobs is the way they do it in Texas and Florida and Tennessee and Arizona, these other states. They don't provide all these lavish corporate welfare subsidies. They just cut their taxes, cut their regulations, create a pro-business atmosphere, and the businesses come. They sprout up spontaneously. I live in Northern Virginia, Dan and Amy, and I got to tell you, we put out a lot of money to get, because the other Amazon facility is going to be right here. And by the way, they're even going to change the name. Did you see that?
No,
it used to be called Crystal. We allowed them. We allowed Amazon to change the name of the city.
Well, wait, what's it going to be
That's how
called?
much we sucked up to those people. Now I forget what they're going to call it. Capital. I forget what they call it. That's the new name.
Crystal
I have
City,
to learn that
Virginia?
because, of course, I live there.
Well, there were other states that suggested you could rename the town Amazon, Georgia, or whatever. But I mean,
why don't we just name it Amazon?
exactly the whole state.
Amazon, Virginia.
So Virginia, it's north of $500 million in subsidies the state is giving.
Where are we going to get that money? We're taxing poor people to give rich people like Jeff Bezos a big subsidy. So I'm against it. Put me as a no. And look, I'm proud as a Virginian now that we're getting Amazon, but I'm not proud of the fact that we're sucking up to them and we're basically giving them all these handouts to do it.
Wow. So how many jobs is it going to bring to Crystal City now, Amazon, Virginia?
It's not Crystal City.
I know. Well, how many? I mean, because eventually, the 500 million. Yeah, I don't think we should give.
Crystal City any longer.
I don't think we should give
So
Jeff Bezos
they
any
both get
breaks.
25,000 jobs.
Yeah,
There's
25,000 jobs. And by the way, now they want to have all these new spending programs for public transit and all this other stuff. So this is probably going to get us costing us more, more money than it's going to save for the place. But we will see. We're a little bit proud today. That we won the sweepstakes, and but I think Illinois, because you guys were offering a lot of money, right?
Oh yeah, $2 billion.
Oh, yeah. And Mayor Emanuel, he came out.
You dodged the bullet there. You don't want it. I mean, it's going to cost you more in the end. Corporate welfare. And here's a hint. If you want to make Illinois a prosperous state, why not just get rid of your income tax, like Florida's done and Texas has done and Tennessee? I know people listening are probably thinking, "Oh my God, we couldn't end our income tax," but there are 9 states that operate without income tax, and they're booming.
Yeah.
Mayor Emanuel would not publicly give an exact reason why Amazon passed on Chicago, but I can't imagine.
I don't know.
In the
passing, I got to ask you. So Pritzker, now that he's got a deep blue legislature, is Pritzker going to be any good?
Are you serious?
We're
talking about Illinois.
I don't know. I don't know Pritzker's politics. Is he a moderate Democrat or is he a left winger?
No, he's a guy who wants to wear the sash. But so the energy is with the Democrat socialists here, like it is nationally, and so he's going to go along. He's on board for graduated state income tax. He's on board for potentially increasing the exit tax.
Wait. They want more taxes?
Of course.
Yeah, and he wants to legalize marijuana to help education.
Don't people realize you're capped out on taxes in Illinois?
We have a revenue, Steve. We have a revenue problem here, not a spending problem. So
oh my God!
More revenue. More blood from stones.
If you're going to solve your pension problem, every resident of Illinois is going to have to pay 25% more property taxes every year for 20 years. And that's not going to go for your public services. It's not going to go for your schools or your police or your fire protection or your parks. It's going to go to pay for retired school teachers and janitors and things like that. I mean, it is so absurd. I can't believe Illinois votes for more and more of this stuff.
And we love it. Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist, CNN chief economist. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay. Go Bears. See you guys.
There you go.
Thanks. The Vikings. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Winston Churchill said, "You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks." That seems like a timeless bit of common sense advice.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit automatedsys.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. What to do about suburban moms. The GOP lost suburban women by 19 points in the midterms. It was well-to-do suburban moms who gave Democrats the House. Should Republicans shame them, as the left does? Should Republicans pander to them with the, "Hi, my name is Dan, I'm a Republican, and I apologize" approach they've been using? How about eliminating their unique designation? Political messaging needs to be succinct with a point. Here's mine for suburban moms. Other than the special role you have in raising your children, you are not special. You're supposed to be a civilizing influence. Instead, you've thrown in with a mob pounding on Tucker Carlson's front door while his wife was locked in her kitchen pantry waiting for police to arrive. I'm not impressed with your BA in ancient civilizations from Vassar. You don't care about good schools or public safety any more than I do. You're not doing any more of the corporal works of mercy than I am. Adhering to Economics 101 axioms doesn't make me a misogynist, and I'm not responsible for the man you chose to marry. Here's my value proposition for you and every other man and woman, whatever their race, religion, age, education, and household income. Separate bathrooms and equal protection under the law. Take it or leave it.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, "What could I do to make more money?" or "How can we increase our business?" I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard "knock on the door and it'll open"? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Lake County Right to Life is looking for like-minded people to help save lives, to support women, mothers and fathers, unborn babies, families, and the elderly. Can you help? Lake County Right to Life takes an active part in both the educational and lobbying aspects of the Right to Life movement. They recognize the need to become actively involved in electing pro-life, pro-family legislators, and formed the Lake County PAC to elect local Lake County candidates who support life-affirming legislation on your behalf. Legislation that saves thousands of lives and doesn't impose on you, the taxpayer, for the lesser good. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it takes all of us working together to accomplish a society that celebrates life and protects our most vulnerable. For donations or information about educating the public concerning current life issues and legislations, go to the Lake County Right to Life website, lcrtl.org. That's lcrtl.org. You can also follow Lake County Right to Life on Facebook.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I have a bad sciatic nerve, and ever since I started taking it, it has not flared up or acted up.
About 4 years ago, I got a virus, pretty severe virus, and it triggered something called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's just a nervous system disorder, and it's been a struggle the past 4 years. And after about 4 or 5 months of doing this, my dad said, "Listen, you need to try this," and I finally said, okay. So I've already noticed more energy and more clarity, and because I've had brain fog with this really bad, and it has helped with that, I've already noticed.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy it before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
AM 560. The Answer.
So do you have an Alexa? You know, Alexa, play this. Alexa, turn off my light. Alexa, turn up the heat.
No.
Blah, blah, blah. Good. I love that about you. Keep it simple.
That's right.
It's your palatial estate in the sky. I mean, my gosh. You have people that do that for you. Well, if you live in Chicago and if you say, Alexa, please apologize, you know, for us not getting HQ2, this is what happens.
Hello, Chicago. Sorry about the HQ2 rejection. But if it's any consolation, you were the second city we chose. Get it? It's funny because one of your nicknames is the Second City, and that's also the name of the comedy institution in your city. Ha 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 ha. Comedy. Speaking of comedy, that's why we didn't go with you. We were intimidated by your comedic prowess. Improv, sketch, stand-up. You're too funny, Chicago. We can't match that wit and spot-on delivery. Well, the delivery thing we can do. More comedy. Ha 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 ha. Being this funny is just exhausting. That's why, although you are the Windy City, we couldn't make you the W-I-N-D City. Sorry for that one. Even with the cognitive computational power of our servers, that joke was the best we could do. We'll just leave you with this. Right. Knock, knock. We are sorry, Chicago.
And they did this 18 times. It was not Amazon. But
Oh, really?
Austin-based ad agency, McGrath Jesse, who released this so whatever city you lived in that was rejected by new Amazon headquarters, that played.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's an ad agency. Say the name again so people know which ad agency not to use. What? That was awful. Stupid.
It was, well, you know, they teased us and said we came in second place because we're the second city.
Thank you for explaining that to me. Good grief.
Just in case.
Are you kidding me?
No. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
My head. David Montero, LA Times national correspondent, has a new book, Kickback, exposing the global corporate bribery network, those big virtue-signaling leftist corporations engaged in some of the most disgusting activities the world over. I can't wait to get the details at 8:08.
And later, a current First Lady and a former First Lady are both making news. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel not sorry that more wasn't offered for an Amazon headquarters. Troy LaRaviere drops out of the Chicago mayor's race. House Speaker Mike Madigan endorsing marijuana. Blackhawks host the Blues tonight. The Celtics host the Bulls, and the Fighting Illini fall to Georgetown. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Every vote must count. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what the Senate's minority leader says.
And the Senate election in Florida must abide by that rule.
Chuck Schumer wants Governor Rick Scott, who holds a small lead, to recuse himself from the process. Scott tweeted that Schumer and D.C. lawyers can't steal the election. As the vote recount continues, Fox's Evan Brown live at the Broward County Elections Office.
Yeah, Dave, the day shift is back on duty here, and they'll be running papers through machines. They're done sorting ballots, getting ready to count more, and Broward's elections chief, Brenda Snipes, says they'll be done on time on Thursday.
We won't miss that deadline. It's too critical. We won't miss it.
Now, Miami-Dade County says they've finished already. Palm Beach County is still having problems. They've got a state judge yesterday to give them an extension through next week, but now a federal court is stepping in. That extension is in limbo, Dave.
Evan Scott claims he won. He's in Washington for new senator orientation, but Nelson is there, too. He's not conceding. House Republicans pick their leaders today for the next Congress when Democrats take control. Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy wants to remain leader in the minority, but Jim Jordan's challenging him.
Did we replace Obamacare? Did we reform welfare? Did we secure the border and build the border security wall? Some key things that we told him we were going to do. that we haven't done.
That was Jordan on Fox and Friends. Defense Secretary Mattis is flying to Texas to get a first-hand look at what thousands of troops are doing to help Border Patrol as that caravan of Central American migrants keeps moving to the U.S. The National Guard is helping in the search for more victims of the Northern California wildfire that left 48 people dead.
We knew Paradise would burn. Is it going to burn? It's just a matter of time.
His house among the 7,600 that have burned down. That fire is now a third contained. As fires there and in Southern California are under more control, the fires there burned down hundreds more buildings and killed 2 more people, and thousands of evacuees in the Malibu area have been allowed back home. This is Fox News.
Sunshine in Chicago. 18 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Authorities investigating a deadly stabbing on Chicago's west side. Police say a woman was found stabbed late last night in the 3100 block of West Taylor. Chicago police tell us this morning she was pronounced dead at the scene and no one is in custody. Mayor Emanuel says he has no regrets over the city and state not offering more to lure Amazon's prize new headquarters. The mayor and Governor Bruce Rauner apparently offered up to $2.25 billion in incentives and packages to try to get Amazon to move here. A Matson man accused of killing a barber in Harvey last month is now in custody. Police say Perry Gosa turned himself in for the October 21st murder of Mike Carney. State Comptroller Susana Mendoza is apparently running for mayor of Chicago, officially announcing her bid this morning. Her announcement comes after she was reelected as comptroller last week. Meantime, Troy LaRaviere is dropping out of the Chicago mayoral race. City Principal Association president announcing yesterday he's ending his campaign because he's unable to collect enough signatures to appear on the ballot. Blackhawks host the Blues tonight. Hawks looking to end an 8-game losing skid. Bulls on the road tonight to take on the Boston Celtics. 5 players in double figures for Georgetown as they edge the Fighting Illini 88-80. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, the parent company of Snapchat is being investigated by the Justice Department and the Securities and Exchange Commission. They want to know whether Snap Inc. made proper disclosures to investors before it went public in 2017. Boeing shares are losing ground before the markets open. Its new automated flight control system is being investigated by the federal government following last month's fatal Lion Air jet crash in Indonesia. Shares of Canada Goose Holdings are rallying before the Wall Street Open after stronger than expected earnings. Canada Goose produces luxury coats and outerwear. Canada-based cannabis company Canopy Growth is continuing to lose money even though it was making more than a year ago. Its shares are skidding before the market opened. The Dow dropped 100 yesterday. The Nasdaq closed flat. The S&P lost 4. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
It's 8:07, and let's get an update on your morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
The inbound Kennedy is Jim. Nagel to Randolph. It is an hour and 12 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose, 33 in the Express. Outbound 51 minutes to O'Hare. Edens, 19 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 32. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 56 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 34 minutes, 95th to downtown. Crash before 35th to the left express lane. Tri-State southbound delays are 21 to Bradley. Northbound Cicero to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Bensonville Bridge. Eastbound Reagan Tollway heavy from the Fox River to Yackley. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Sunny day today with a high 36, then a mainly clear night, low 24. Sun and some clouds tomorrow, high 40. Partly cloudy night, low 30. Friday, clouds and sun, high 42, then a little snow late Friday night, accumulating up to an inch with a low of 30. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
18 degrees at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This is an underreported area of investigation and activity. Big multinational corporations and their business practices, not just at home, but in particular abroad, where there's often less legal oversight and it's easier to, bribe your way to deals. Particularly because of how C-suites in this country have become indistinguishable from college campuses. A lot of preening, a lot of moralizing, a lot of virtue signaling, and then when you're not looking, when their corporate comms department isn't pressing profile, how they're actually behaving in advance of their pecuniary interests. So this book, Kickback, by David Montero, has me intrigued. Kickback, Exposing the Global Corporate Bribery Network. David Montero is formerly a correspondent for the Christian Science Monitor and a producer for PBS's series Frontline. He has twice been honored with Emmy Award nominations, as well as the South Asian Journalists Association's Daniel Pearl Award. Montero is an LA Times national correspondent now. And again, the book Kickback, Exposing the Global Corporate Bribery Network. David, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you have examples in the book that zero in on Fortune 500 companies that enjoy, relatively hands-off approach from the
Yeah, for the last 10 years, many big pharmaceutical companies, as you mentioned, names that we know, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Bristol Myers Squibb, AstraZeneca, GlaxoSmithKline, they have been paying bribes to doctors, countless doctors throughout China. China is one of their biggest markets. It's a market that has kept them in business when their stocks have declined in the West and in the United States. So they made this big push into China by paying often small bribes. Sometimes they bribe doctors with cigarettes or eyeglasses or promises to send doctors to Disneyland on junkets. And these doctors were induced to overprescribe medicine that people often didn't need, like antibiotics. And China, as a result, has one of the highest rates of overprescription of antibiotics in the world. I'm not the one who said that Pfizer and Novartis and Bristol Myers Squibb did this. The SEC and the Justice Department settled investigations with all of these companies in the last few years, and they've paid more than $100 million in fines collectively to settle those investigations.
And it's just kind of continue to develop that. So the net effect of these investigations have found what in terms of not just the actual transaction, but the impact of that transaction, the human cost?
Well, that's a very interesting thing. These investigations almost never look at the impact of these bribes. There's the reason for that is that the Justice Department and the SEC, it's not within their mandate to go and follow the money and figure out, well, what did these bribes do? So the SEC and the Justice Department prosecute this crime as if it were just any kind of white-collar crime. That basically these companies are fined for filing false paperwork. Mm-hmm. It's up to a journalist like me to go to China and figure out, well, what actually happens when Pfizer and Eli Lilly bribe countless doctors throughout the country to prescribe medicine. So sadly, these settlements in a sense buy silence on the issue of the impact. But by going to the countries where the bribes are paid, as I did, and speaking to doctors and patients and the Chinese government even, which is very upset about these bribes and has been cracking down on it, that's where you learn what the impact is.
You know, for your next book, you can come to Chicago and do a book about political kickbacks. Does that ever interest you?
Well, that does, but they're all legal, of course, in the United States. You know,
yeah.
Abroad, this is illegal. It's bribery. In the United States, it's called lobbying.
Right, exactly. Well, a fair point. And it's good to make sure people understand that Paul Manafort is not the only person out there perhaps in violation of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Here's the question, though, about impact. I assume the drug companies will say, David, well, it's not bribery. Here's what we're doing. We're incentivizing doctors to use our version of a particular medicine over a competitor's version, but they're going to use that medicine, and that medicine is used properly. It's just our brand versus their brand, and so that's just incentivizing the use of one substitute over the other.
Yes, right. But I spoke to doctors themselves who had been bribed and who told me there's a real danger. Of course, these doctors claim I didn't overprescribe this antibiotic. Mm-hmm. I mean, we want to believe them. But they felt that doctors that they knew were definitely overprescribing things because it's how they made their salary. The doctors are paid so little in China. They felt like they couldn't really take care of their families unless they were getting these kickbacks, and in return, they overprescribed. I spoke to drug reps who worked for huge European companies who told me, yeah, I have doctors who they're overprescribing so much, and we know it because we track their prescriptions every month, that we had to kind of tell them to stop. You know, they were kind of sometimes the overprescriptions were so high that we felt like maybe they should not be prescribing as much. So I understand the companies will say that, but that's just I think it's a facile argument.
And how are the offers made? I mean, do they go to their office or do they go to their homes? Do they meet them on a park bench? How does this work?
Yeah, they go to their. So this one doctor I met told me every month 2 reps would come to my office and they would talk to me about how their product is much better than the competition's and that they would support me if I supported them. And so then every month after she agreed to do that, and she agreed to do this for about a year, to take bribes in return for prescriptions, the reps would come every month and sit in her office, and they would give her $50. It wasn't a lot of money, but that was just one drug company that was paying her off. So yeah, they come, they sit, they would pass her the money, and then they would say thank you. And I remember she laughed in our interview when she told me that, because she thought it was so funny how they were thanking her for her corruption every month.
What about companies that do business with despotic regimes? And I mean more than just do business, really facilitate, if not underwrite, human rights abuses and other dictatorial practices in foreign countries?
Yeah, exactly. So in China, we're talking about bribery kind of on a very small level, right? The amount of money is small, and the doctors don't have that much power or influence. But then again, bribery often takes place on a very grand scale. So a very good example, which I document in the book, is Alcoa, a Fortune 500 company, the largest aluminum manufacturer in the world, and the $130 million in bribes it paid to the royal family of Bahrain. In the period leading up to the Arab Spring, when citizens throughout the Middle East were protesting against the corruption, this very kind of corruption that they were upset about, that their rulers were engaging in, Alcoa was doing this. It used a middleman to pay all these bribes to allegedly the prime minister of the country, and then several very powerful sheikhs. And the royal family of Bahrain is very well documented as being a human rights abuser. They're abusing especially religious minorities. When the Arab Spring took place, they violently crushed the uprisings in the street, and dozens of people died. I think hundreds of people were jailed. And so the bribes that Alcoa paid kept this regime in power, and kept them in power because they want to keep receiving these bribes. How they use that money to directly stifle dissent, we don't know, but we can assume that it's a pillar of their support. Hundreds of millions of dollars in bribes help them stay in power and do whatever they want.
I want to get your sort of handle on Greece as well, because you use Greece as an example of corporations outsourcing bribery to sort of hired guns, super agents, so the Greek economy sort of mirrors what's happening in Illinois. So, and the use of super agents too from the political class too. It sounds very familiar. So I'm interested to hear that story.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, Greece is in economic turmoil, just recovering from that. One of the reasons that Greece is in this turmoil is because it overspent so much on healthcare. And one of the reasons it overspent so much on healthcare is because, like in China, doctors, surgeons were being bribed to use products they didn't need, or even surgery. In surgery, they were using products, maybe more screws and orthopedic screws than they needed. A lot of the major orthopedic companies, including Johnson & Johnson, Smith & Nephew, they all used the same agent in Greece to do this. This was a well-established businessman in Greece who had relationships with all the top doctors in the country. And it was a very turnkey solution for a company like Depuis, a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, their orthopedic subsidiary, to go to this guy and say, well, we want our product in the market, and we know that we have to compete against Smith & Nephew, and you pay bribes on behalf of Smith & Nephew, but we want you to pay them on our behalf now. And so that's what he did. He set up relationships. He set up fake bank accounts around the world, and he funneled money from his various shell companies in England to these bank accounts, and then from the bank accounts to thousands of doctors. It was kind of a huge operation to do this.
And is the reason that there's so few prosecutions of executives at these big companies just because of the complicated nature, how time-consuming it is, how expensive it is for justice to bring cases against them, and so in some respects they're above the law because of their influence and money and power?
Well, what the Justice Department told me, many people told me, is that it's exceedingly difficult to prove the intent of an individual in any criminal case, but particularly in a bribery case. Why? Because the act took place abroad, the evidence is often abroad, and the witnesses who can speak to that evidence are often abroad. So according to the Justice Department, it's very time-consuming, resource-consuming to get that evidence. You may have to go to a place like Nigeria and ask for bank statements. the banks may not comply. Even if you get those bank statements, which could take months, you then may need to bring a witness into, if this goes to trial, you would need to bring a witness into the courtroom to say, well, these are what the bank accounts mean and why the jury should care. A witness may not be able to, they may not be able to find a witness. The witness may not cooperate. So from their standpoint, it's a resource issue. I do think, however, that if they wanted to, they could continue to spend the resources. Part of the problem is the Justice Department doesn't like to lose at trial. It has suffered some pretty bad public losses at trial when in bribery cases, and I think since then they've been a little bit gun-shy, or you might even say quite gun-shy, about trying to bring a case which is difficult against an executive only to have it fail, and then embolden other executives to say, well, great, I'll go to trial too next time and I'll fight this and maybe it'll collapse, because it's difficult to gather the evidence and then to present it to a jury and make them understand how this one person was particularly liable.
Really interesting. David Montero is the author. He's an LA Times national correspondent. The book is Kickback, Exposing the Global Corporate Bribery Network. David, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the book.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's so nice now that the kids are asleep.
Cheers.
We got the kids, our house, a stable income.
Checking off all the boxes.
But there's one box we haven't checked off.
What's that?
Life insurance.
We don't need to think about that now. We're young.
That's why now is the best time. Life insurance gets more expensive the older you get.
But I don't have time to do a blood test. It's such a hassle to meet with someone just to get a quote.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos?
It's a modern kind of life insurance. You just answer 4 quick questions at getethos.com and get a free instant quote. No pushy salespeople. And no medical exams required for policies covering under $1 million. You can apply online in just 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Let's do it.
But then what will we do for the rest of the night?
I'm sure we can think of something.
Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. GetEthos.com.
Have you ever been concerned that you might have high cholesterol? Did you know that high cholesterol is a key risk factor for heart disease? We are conducting a national research study that will examine a cholesterol-lowering medicine that could become available over the counter. If you are concerned you may have high cholesterol, you may qualify for this study. Take our online assessment at www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify. Again, please visit www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify.
Need to lower operating costs? ComEd has instant discounts on energy-saving LEDs to save your business now and later on your energy bill. Get discounts and other lighting solutions from the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program at ComEd.com/lighting solutions. Need to lower operating costs? ComEd has instant discounts on energy-saving LEDs to save your business now and later on your energy bill. Get discounts and other lighting solutions from the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program at ComEd.com/lighting solutions.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had my yearly physical and all my tests and everything, and they were wonderful. In fact, my doctor said everything came back and it's fantastic. So, and my blood pressure was down 20 points. So, yeah, it was kind of high, but now it's okay.
So I think that that balance of nature is a big deal for me, and I feel good. You know, I generally feel not up like crazy, but I feel happy. All the nutrition, all the nutrients that I needed or need, I'm getting. I feel good that way.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy checking in on that Florida recount. They got till tomorrow to finish the machine recount before they go to the hand recount, right?
Oh, yeah. And your lady, Mrs. Brenda Snipes.
Yeah.
Oh, she might want to wake up for interviews. She was on with Andrew Cuomo last night because you're so important. And she said, we got this. We got it. We got it.
I bet.
Will you get your counting done on time? The Thursday deadline you have, the Friday deadline with military and out-of-country ballots after it. Will you be ready on Thursday?
Absolutely. My team and I are working very hard, very diligently to make sure that that happens.
So you're saying 100% you'll have the count done to everybody's satisfaction?
I'm saying 100%.
Ooh,
we have a staff that's highly trained, they're capable, they're competent, and we've set the goal of making sure that all of our information is in according to the schedule.
You know why she's back on schedule?
Why?
Because they brought in an outside expert
Oh.
for the count.
She was a little cantankerous during that interview, I have to say.
Just in time for the hand recount, they have an expert providing a little
good.
oversight for Brenda Snipes.
You know that I am called the Count, because I really love to count. Sometimes I sit and count all day. But sometimes I get carried away. I count slowly, 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 getting faster. Once I start in counting, it's very hard to stop. Hey, faster, faster, it is so exciting. I could count forever, count until I drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I love counting. Whatever the amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's the song of the count.
So I have a lot more confidence in Broward County with the count on the scene, is my point. Also,
in one county, the machines were actually overheating. I think it was Palm County or one of the, they had to...
Probably to dancing to the music of the count.
Exactly. They had to shut her down for a bit, but they got her back up running. So.
Also, I don't mean to point this out with so much anxiety surrounding the Senate race there, Bill Nelson and Rick Scott, but I don't think that Bill Nelson is qualified to serve, even were he to win the raw vote, because he's already been embalmed. I don't think he has the requisite capacity to be a United States Senator.
Something wrong with him. I think it was plastic surgery gone awry, or he can't move his forehead, or bad Botox, and now his eyes are kind of squinting in, and
he also
it's hard to watch.
He also talks like the creep show Crypt Keeper.
Ooh, let me hear. Yeah.
Rick Scott isn't interested in making sure every lawful vote is counted, and the second is that he's using his power as governor to try to undermine the voting process.
I think that...
I heard him say that, but he doesn't blink when he's being interviewed either.
I think that the count should replace either or both Brenda Snipes and Bill Nelson.
Both look like they're out of central casting. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy melts some snowflakes. You're going to want to hear what he had to say.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 19 degrees. 8:30 is our time. Here in Chicago, State Comptroller Susana Mendoza is officially now running for mayor of Chicago, announcing her bid this morning. Her announcement comes after she was reelected as comptroller last week. Many expected she would run after video of her leaked to the media earlier this month of her declaring a bid. Authorities are worried about just how high the death toll from Northern California's Camp Fire may go. At least 48 have died, but more than 100 are missing. 2 have died in the Woolsey fire burning on the Los Angeles-Ventura County line in Southern California. An Egyptian-brokered ceasefire between Israel and Palestine appears to be holding after the most violent exchange of fire between them since the 50-day war in the summer of 2014. Demonstrators in New York are expected to go to the mat today in Queens, protesting Amazon setting up a new headquarters there. These residents are convinced the area will not be able to handle it. Accused Mexican drug lord Joaquin Guzman's lawyers dropping bombshell allegations in his New York trial. In opening remarks yesterday, a lawyer for the man known as El Chapo claimed the current and former presidents of Mexico took bribes from the real leader, they say, of the Sinaloa drug cartel. Authorities continue investigating a deadly stabbing on Chicago's west side. Chicago police tell us a woman was found stabbed last night in the 3100 block of West Taylor, and no one is in custody. A community activist who played a large role in forcing Mayor Rahm Emanuel to release the Laquan McDonald shooting video is now running for a seat on Chicago's city council. William Calloway announcing yesterday he'll run for alderman in the city's 5th ward against incumbent Leslie Harrison. Chicago's Downtown Oriental Theater will bear a new name. Earlier next year, the venue will be known as the James Nederlander Theater. The Nederlander family has owned theaters in Chicago for decades, but the name has never been displayed on a loop marquee. James Nederlander died in 2016 at the age of 94. Blackhawks host the Blues tonight. Bulls on the road to take on the Celtics in Beantown. The news a service of Amazon, raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at Amazon.com/Chicago Jobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer. 8:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's ideal situation.
Remember Nancy Pelosi? Didn't she see that once where we could sit back and write poetry and compose music? This is the ideal that somehow you will be fed, clothed, and housed without actually doing anything. It's character destroying socialism.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at KelleherBuckley.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. We have so many wonderful clients, but with me today is someone very special.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA. We are a nonprofit student organization battling the bias and indoctrination in America's high schools and colleges every day. We are on over 1,000 campuses and continue to grow. Precision Payroll has been there since day one and has helped us immensely as we grew to a truly national organization. No one in the business is better than Precision Payroll. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. What you're doing is so important. To learn more and help, go to tpusa.com. That's tpusa.com.
And for your business, let Precision Payroll make a difference for you. Call Tom at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or online at precisionpayroll.com.
Thank you, Charlie.
8:35. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Yeah, about 8 inches heavy with delays from Montrose to Willow. 41 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound fine at 19. Kennedy, delays start at Nagel. It is an hour and 12 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose, 33 in the Express. Outbound 43 minutes to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown. 48 minutes to Manheim. Outbound 57 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 43 minutes. Ryan, 38 minutes, 95 to downtown. Eastbound 390 has roadwork delays, Roselle to Roll Wing. Southbound Tri-State slow 21 to Bradley. Northbound 111th, 31st, Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Reagan Tollway heavy, Fox River to Yackley. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, plenty of sunshine, 36 today. Clear and cold, 24 overnight. Currently in Chicago, 19 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tasty Catering. The best value for your company's holiday party is at tastycatering.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Don't you just picture Justin jumping around in like an 80s jumper when you hear that music? Yeah. All right, Dateline Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy, Monday press conference after his 5-5 Cowboys narrowly lost to number 6 Oklahoma Sooners, the in-state rival, of course, 48-47 on Saturday. Mike Gundy talking about was asked about a couple of players that are transferring out of the school, including his safety Tabo Waniki.
I'd rather have you say it than me. Good job pronouncing that.
I always ask them to hold the MSG on my Tabo Waniki, by the way. Here is Coach Gundy talking about the difference with today's players versus players in his day.
Well, I think we live in a world where people are non-committal. We allow liberalism to say, hey, I can just do what I want and I don't have to really be tough and fight through it. And you see that with young people because it's an option they're given. We weren't given that option when we were growing up. We were told what to do. We did it the right way, or you go figure it out on your own. In the world today, there's a lot of entitlement. I'm a firm believer in the snowflake. I think it's setting there. And I'm not talking about Tabo. Tabo and I have had multiple good talks. I'm talking about every millennial young person, Generation Z, I think is what they call them. That's the world we live in, because if they say, well, it's a little bit hard, then we say, okay, well, let's go try something else. Versus, hey, let's bear down and let's fight through this. So you see a lot of that nowadays. And that doesn't have anything to do with Tabo or McCleskey or anybody that's been on the portal here. That's just in general in society. Even if you're working down here at Walmart, if your boss gets after you and tells you that you're not doing a good job, you may go home and cry and tell your mom, and your mom may say it's okay. And it's just kind of the facts of life, the world we live in today. Don't get me on politics.
Well, we got you on politics because you said liberalism, Coach Gundy. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. Your reaction to what Coach Gundy had to say about not just D1 football players, but the world we live in today, as you heard him give the Walmart example, and whether or not you think that you agree with me, I should say, that Oklahoma State is now, and Coach Gundy
is now back on the list.
Is now a coach and a program that Amy's senior son, Peyton, can play at.
And if any of you are watching us at home, Peyton's getting big. Here's his size 15.5 shoe.
And that box is just one shoe.
And this is a shoe box. I mean, so, yeah, we're looking at places for him to go. But he's not that great yet. But still, as a coach and as a mom, I completely understand what he's saying. because there have been situations where they don't like the practice schedule or this just isn't the sport for them, and they just quit during the season just because things get a little tough. That's when you stick it out. That's when but millennials, they it's a different world. Yes, definitely. And it's the me generation. It's the I don't have to work, because we've pampered and catered to this generation to the point where it is just wrong on a number of levels.
You're equals. There's no authority relationship, right? So it's you're living your truth and Coach Gundy's living his truth. And when they come into conflict, well, I mean, I guess I'll just leave then if you won't let me live my truth. It's my favorite story. It's the John Wooden, Bill Walton story I've told before.
No, totally.
Right? I mean, just comparing what Gundy's talking about with his players, D1 players at a top program, compared to John Wooden, 10 championships in 12 years at UCLA. No facial hair was the rule for Wooden's players at UCLA. Bill Walton, the number one player in the country during his time there, comes back from break, and Bill Walton was a bit of a hippie in the late 60s and early 70s. Comes back, he's got the full-grown beard that you remember him sporting when he was with the Blazers and whatnot. And so he's got the beard. Wooden comes up to him and says, "Bill, you know the rule. What's with the beard?" And Walton says to Wooden, "This is me expressing myself, Coach Wooden. This is very important to me, and I'm making a cultural, political statement." And John Wooden says, "Okay, if you know my position, Bill. I mean, if something is very important to you, I always encourage people to express themselves and stand up for those things that are important to them. And so if that's how important this is to you, then I certainly respect it." And Walton says to Wooden, "Well, it certainly is." And Wooden says, "Well, again, I respect it, and we're going to miss you on the team."
It's fantastic.
Wooden shaved, and the rest is UCLA basketball lore. Those conversations don't happen today.
What would Coach Wooden think of today's players who are tatted up everywhere? I mean, at the collegiate level, not even waiting until the pros, but when they're, as soon as they can get a tattoo or even before, with, mommy or daddy's permission, they're tatted up. I think it's disgusting.
I think there are some programs that, and some examples of sort of Coach Wooden acolytes that still exist today, like Coach K at Duke.
Mm-hmm. Coach Gundy. Yeah.
But there are not many. And I don't know. I mean, if John Wooden, who's the greatest coach in the history of organized sports, for my money, if he was entering the coaching profession today, I think he would decide to become a poet instead. Lou in Chicago Heights, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, I've been a boxing coach for 30 years, and I was off for a couple of years. I've got kids today. Everybody's overweight. They sit on their phones. I have kids that cry because it's too hard. They can't do a push-up. They cannot do jumping jacks. His parents send them to me because I yell at them every day because they won't. It's pathetic, and I love these kids to death. But it's the parents, and I told them yesterday, I go, if a war breaks out, you're not going to be able to protect my country.
Oh,
I go, 8 years, 5, 6 years from now, you guys are military age. They can't do it. It's horrible.
Thanks
well, at
for
least,
the call,
to the parents' credit, at least they're sending them to you to try and get into shape rather than doing nothing.
Well, that's true.
I run a tight ship in my house. I don't really think that I have these problems, but no parent is perfect.
That is true.
And then if things get really bad, they go see Uncle Dan.
And then everybody's back on the straight and narrow. John in Lincolnwood.
Hi. Oh, God, thank God your show's on in the morning. It's the best. Anyway.
Thank you.
I have to chime in because, this is so true. The millennials, these kids don't want to work hard. I see it in my daughter, and I pushed her because she was, it was too hard, this volleyball team or whatever, but her coach, God bless her, she pushed them, she screamed at them, she made them do crazy, exercises and stuff, and they ended up winning the whole. Their freshman B team was the best in the whole school.
That's
awesome. They lost one game. I'm like, all the other teams lost tons of games. I'm like, see, it has a lot to do with coaching, and I'm like, it's so true. You have to push these kids to show them, hey, it might be hard, but the result will be worth it. You just you can't see the result. It's not immediate. That's all I had to say. Thank you very much. Your show is the best.
Thanks, John. Yeah, and here's a reminder. I'm an adult and I know what I'm talking about, and you're a snot-nosed 12-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, and you don't. That's why I'm in my position and you're in your position. And let's respect one another, but I'm calling the shots. And you're going to abide the shots I call, or you're going to find somewhere else to participate in whatever you want to participate in, because that's not my program.
Yeah, we haven't had, well, first of all, unlike the last caller, and thank you for calling in, we have not even lost a set this year going to the championship game. But those girls, they on the weekends, this just doesn't come naturally. On the weekends, they play club ball. Their parents spend hours driving them to different locations, and they'll have weekend-long tournaments. So they're dedicated, and their parents are, and they love the sport, too, so we really don't have to worry too much about it. But that's, they're dedicated people. Yeah. So not all the millennials and Generation Zers or Xers or Yers are bad.
Well, hold on a second. Number one, yes, that's the commitment that you're talking about that Gun DC's lacking. Number two, your kids aren't millennials. They're the younger siblings of millennials or the next generation, and I point that out.
But they're just as selfish as the
but that's just there's something actually the research suggests there's something happening. The generation coming after millennials, where not surprisingly happens a lot, the generation younger than millennials is rejecting the navel gazing of the millennials, the softness of the millennials. They're going a different direction, and so that's the good news.
Thank goodness.
Rachel and Justice.
Hello?
Hi, Rachel. You're on.
Hi. I was just calling because I listen to you guys every morning as I drive to work. But it just makes me laugh, and you're dead on about the millennials. I'm 30, and I have two younger brothers, one that's 26 and one that's 22, and they're both Marines.
Yeah.
And the two of them, to hear them start talking on about their peers, some of their stories of these guys that come into the Marine Corps thinking that they're just going to walk in and be top dog is really hilarious.
Thanks for the call, Rachel. There you go. All right, very good. So there's an encouraging sign, some verification. Steve on the South Side.
Hey, good morning. This is about Amy's point. Yeah, I mean that we should give them credit for at least sending them there. Well, everybody gets a ribbon just for trying. It's not about what you accomplish. The parents are responsible for their kids. Don't send them to the coach for discipline. Don't send them to the teacher for morals or values or discipline. So, yeah.
Well, if they want to try and get their kids in shape, I believe, the boxing, if they want to box, that's a good way to start.
Thanks for the call, Steve. But I mean, go back and listen to James Harrison, the great Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker, talk about the trophy culture. Everybody gets a trophy culture.
Participation trophies.
Yeah.
I hate those things. Oh, I can't stand them. I don't allow them in my house.
There you go.
I never have. They look great in the recycling bin.
Don in Bloomingdale.
I just thank God that there's still one place, like that other caller said, that the quitting is not an option, and that's the United States Marine Corps and our armed services. My son did 10 years, and they're not even allowed to use the word I or me in boot camp.
There you go.
It has nothing to do with them, and there is no quitting.
There you go. Thanks for the call, Don. There you go.
Rawr.
Servant leaders, something to that. Holly and Hudson.
Hey, good morning, you two. So I want to kind of jump onto this military train, and I wish the Oklahoma City coach or the Oklahoma coach who said that would keep that in mind when he plays a service academy, because for service academies to recruit football players is a double whammy. They're up against it, and yet they go out every weekend. They play against kids who are on scholarships, and they play their guts out, and they know they're going to serve at least 5 years after college, while these other kids are going to walk away with no debt and no education. But anyway, one of the question I wanted to make was about Common Core. I don't think people realize that Common Core allows you to retake a test until you pass it. So an entire generation of kids now think that they can try as hard as they want, as many times as they want, until they pass. And the class is taught no one succeeds if everyone doesn't succeed. So they graduate, and they think the world lets them retake all their tests and retake and have constant redos, and it doesn't. And they're finding that out.
Thanks, Holly.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, Mueller, CPA.com. Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their three co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Copays, codes, coupons. Searching for savings on prescriptions is so complex, it's like you need a doctorate degree. Fortunately, CVS Pharmacy employs thousands who have one, our pharmacists. Plus, we built a proprietary search tool to help them find you savings on prescriptions. You don't need to know all of that complicated stuff. You just need to know someone who does. Your friendly doctor of pharmacy at your local CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacist for details.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Black Friday savings start now at Ace with our biggest holiday light sale of the season. We have everything you need to deck the halls with huge savings on holiday lights. Find great deals like buy one, get one free on 100-count LED mini light sets or 20% off all regular price Celebrations LED light sets. It's the best time to buy your holiday lights and everything you need to make your home the best-looking house on the block. Only at Ace. Offer valid through November 26th at participating stores while supplies last.
Songs have been written about it, wars have been fought over it, and just holding it in the palm of your hands is magnificent. Silver and gold have been bartered, bought, and sold for centuries, and now is the time for you to invest in one of the most recognized financial assets and ensure your portfolio is guarded against inflation and a declining dollar. For such an exclusive opportunity and investment, put your trust in Kedzie Coins. Kedzie Coins is an accredited precious metals dealer member with family roots in the heart of Chicago. And as members of the Professional Numismatics Guild, they are committed to the strictest standards of excellence and ethics. With one of the largest selections of gold and silver bullion minted in the U.S., Kedzie Coins is your destination to buy American. Visit one of their 3 locations, Kedzie Coins and Jewelry on 59th and Kedzie in Chicago, What a Gem Jewelry and Coins in Berwyn, or the flagship store, Broadway Jewelry and Rare Coins in Bradley, just north of Kankakee. For questions or to set up an appointment, call 773-436-0777.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It helped me with a lot. Like, my energy levels went up. I felt way better. I felt more focused, more concentrated. It made a difference as far as energy levels and brain function.
Balance of Nature, you are all so very nice to deal with. Michelle, you and everybody I've spoken to, Heidi, Quo, everybody I've spoken with, the Balance of Nature is so very, very nice.
I do feel a whole lot better since I've been taking it. I don't get colds like I used to, as often, it seems. They don't last. And the wounds, are healing a lot quicker, that's for sure.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can
Call Crumweedy.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, well, a couple of conquering heroes returned to Chicago yesterday, Oprah and Michelle Obama. And I mean, they looked resplendent. Michelle Obama in, I mean, why do we even comment on her clothes, Amy? It's so misogynistic. I can't believe you were going to go there.
Well, you're the one who said it, but she was wearing a white empire waist getup, a pantsuit with a blingy top off the shoulder to the left. It was explosive, especially when she was introduced.
And
welcome, Michelle Obama!
Yeah. Michael Buffer was there to announce Michelle Obama, apparently.
What? Hey.
Also, was it me or did Oprah look like she had just come from a shift at Morton's?
She did have on the black pants and the white crisp top.
Yeah.
Blouse, as you call it.
Yeah.
But, you know, they got down to Bidnich talking about, you know, life after the White House.
People ask, do I miss the White House? And it's like, no, I don't miss the house because we took what was important in that house with us, and it is with us. It's family, it's values, it's the friendship.
Wow, that is
so
deep.
The house is beautiful,
Let me process
and
this.
it's
So
historic,
deep.
and you know, it was an honor to live there.
Yeah.
But the people in it make it what it is.
Oh, boy. I mean,
One
that
person,
is
I know, it's-
so powerful. Wait a second.
No, it's deep, Dan.
What was important in the house was what made it a home. Is that what you're saying, Michelle? Your daughters, your husband, the loving family. God, what a... You
One
are so
person-
complicated.
One fan paid $4,800 to sit in the second row so that she could have a meet and greet with Michelle Obama. The first of her 9-city tour.